Okay. Just casually leaning over here. Just casually. Actually, my mouse can just go over here. What am I doing? Okay. And we're live. All perfect. Just in time to catch Matt doing something weird, as usual. Hey guys.
As usual.
Welcome to today's stream.
As usual.
We're back with some Ace Attorney. I forgot to do any of the audio setup. I'll be right back. But anyway, they were once again. We're hopefully finishing this case.
Thomas has bedtime in 30 minutes.
Oh.
Thomas has bedtime in 30 minutes.
Audio's loud.
Oh no.
Okay, perfect. I
actually,
grabbed one too many. Can you plug
It'd
start
be
from
so
this
actually
in?
nice to have the audio on our ear.
Yeah,
Does that
yeah,
not
but it's
work
not good
out
for
on
no.
the stream?
Not work out. Honestly, right into the trash.
On the green ones?
Oh, yeah, you guys. I should use those. I should use these. Only one of these headphones, earbuds work.
Oh.
Don't ask how I play Valorant.
I want to know.
I don't. Alright, let's pull up chat.
Shut.
Trade me. Right? Is this the left one? I mean the right.
Okay.
I'm tired, I have a haircut.
Yep. It was cut a little too much apparently.
But now it looks good. And actually, I think I cut it fine.
That's not what I heard the first time around.
I told her she could cut off 2 inches. Go look at the last episode.
Wait, did we talk about in the episode? Was that where we talked about it?
Did I have a short hair last episode? No way.
I thought you
I
talked
think
about it
you
in
did.
on your
You
YouTube
definitely
channel.
did.
That's why we talked
No,
about
you
it.
definitely had short hair last time. Or like a month ago. Not a month. It
I don't
was
know.
Get the hat.
Not the deduction was stuff.
But it's shown.
But he's here so often. You know how often I have to wear that thing? Ah, the knight errant himself.
Do you know how often I have to wear that thing? Once a month for 10 minutes.
Yeah. You mean 2 hours? Oh, have you been watching from the gallery, Mr. Sholmes? I've been on the edge of my seat the entire
Can I
time.
use a controller?
Well, fine.
Also, are we gonna put the game on the screen?
Oh no, we're just gonna leave it like that. Good catch.
Oh yeah, good catch, good catch.
No, I wanted it this way.
That would've been really.
Courtroom trials
Our
are
faces-
fascinating. It's like a screenplay, you know. We're just
Yeah,
showing
we
off
are the-
our fan game, our fan-made version of Ace Attorney.
That actually would be funny to make the game itself like this small thing, and then us.
Like we're big.
Courtroom
Thomas is like,
trials-
no, your idea sucks.
Is it working or
Just give it a second.
is this okay?
Courtroom
Whoa.
trials are fascinating affairs. As a spectator, at least. I'm glad you've been enjoying yourself.
I have to ask. What on earth is going on? It makes no sense. What's this professor business all about? He doesn't look like any professor I've ever met before. Who even is he?
Of course. You were in Germany already 10 years ago. Yes, the professor. Oh, I gotta turn this up too. All the way up, I guess.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
And turn this up.
Re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Y'all don't have to be jealous of Matt's musical prowess, don't worry.
Do, re, mi.
He's just a once-in-a-generation legend. When I discovered he was the one who had been abducted, a sense of foreboding stirred within me.
Foreboding.
Foreboding. But who knew the monster would come knocking
It's
at
quite
your
simple.
door? My heartfelt sympathies. As it turns out, Lord Van Zeeks is even more intimately tied to this case than any of us realized, isn't he?
Yes, how true. His great friend from university in the dock.
And now a waxwork of the killer who took his esteemed brother's life makes an appearance too. I imagine even the shrewd Mr. Reaper failed to foresee that kick in the teeth. An extraordinary move on your part, my dear fellow, to throw that in front of the man, to kick him while he's down, and just exploit his backstory and use the fact that his parents are murdered. You make it sound deliberate.
can't help feeling this professor case is really very puzzling.
Oh,
Really
yes.
Really very.
In what particular manner?
Well, Mr. Drebber, Dr. Scythe, and Lord Van Zeeks. It seems that everybody in the trial has a link.
Yes. In fact, I alone am not a member of the set. No, that leaves me as an empty set, all alone, with no intersection to any other.
Wow, what a math.
What the heck?
What a math terminology right
That's,
there.
yeah.
That's some dreary person out there.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
It does Dr. Scythe.
I have to remember her voice.
Ah, Dr. Courtney Scythe. I was trying to think of her voice, and then I just, you know.
Ah!
Also, what is he saying right there? Neh, Stevens?
Nah, Steven.
Neh.
This.
Good
Careful.
day to you.
What? Wasn't that funny?
Hello, Sholmes. That was very shrewd of you.
What in particular, pray?
Requested that 10-year-old autopsy report from Gregson, didn't you?
Why would you assume such a thing?
Because Gregson told me.
Well, then I guess you're not assuming very much there. How have you not fired this man yet?
To think it's been 10 years. 10 years in the laboratory, wielding my scalpel. I smell of nothing but corpses and disinfectant.
Okay.
A policeman on the jury had a lot to say about you as it happens, Dr. Scythe, and I've accused you of being complicit in what happened. I'm hoping that you'll take the stand and tell the truth about what really happened.
That certainly won't be possible. Lord Van Zeeks won't be summoning me as a witness. Lord Strongheart has forbidden it.
Lord Strongheart?
Pandora's box you were warned about is a professor case. Don't make the mistake of get any information about it out of me. Attempting to hide from the truth, that's cowardice. I've always fought crime in the way that I see fit. I have no regrets, none at all. And that's all I came here to say.
Oh, thanks for coming all this way for nothing.
So, good day to you.
Wow.
Good day.
You actually just came here to do nothing.
Good day.
Good day, sir.
You mentioned it too, this Pandora's box.
Whatever does it all mean?
There's really no cause for concern, I assure you, when the trial resumes. The meaning will become all too apparent, whether you'd like it to or not. Huh? Now then, I believe it's almost time. I must make my way back to the public gallery. The edge of my seat awaits.
In before we put every single character in. They're all complicit in some overarching scheme.
It's something's going on here, obviously. We just arrest all of London. I think you're enjoying yourself a little too much. Ah yes, one word of warning before I go. If, in the course of the trial, this afternoon you perceive even a shadow of doubt about the truth, don't let it out of your sight. Pursue it like a dog with a bone. To the bitter end, you understand. Do not falter, whatever may come to pass. Alright, I understand. Thank you. Good. I shall make myself scarce then.
He knows he's gonna be screwed. He's about to dip.
Sholmes caramel?
I purchased a bar of caramel earlier, so I shall be gnawing on that as you gnaw away at the truth.
Sholmes is
Well,
caramel.
yes, he has his own whole candy line.
And he's still somehow broke.
Yep. Probably, you know, under someone else. What did that warning from Mr. Sholmes really mean, I wonder? Especially that bit about whatever may come to pass.
Yeah.
Time for the final chapter then. I'm determined to find the truth, no matter what.
Wait, this isn't the final chapter of the game.
Yeah,
Isn't there a whole other 2 cases?
I think so. Oh yeah, so fun fact about the lighting today. If you notice, the lighting's a little off for the room, because the lights in my room are broken. For whatever reason, I think the wiring's off, but
You just gotta tell him to be like, no, you're trying a new thing here, trying to look more professional.
actually the light's
It
exactly the
actually
same.
looks good.
The light's exactly the same. Nothing's even changed,
I
actually.
actually
You
like
all
it
are
how
crazy.
it's darker.
No, but there's like a lamp set up and everything. It's great.
In the name of Her Majesty!
Majesty the Queen, I hereby reconvene the proceedings of this court. Counsels for the defense and prosecution, are you ready and able to continue?
The prosecution is ready, my lord.
Yes, my lord. The defense is also ready.
As the court is aware, the case under our scrutiny began with a damaging incident at the Great Exhibition. Yet we now find ourselves embroiled in the details of a convicted felon who was sent to the gallows a decade ago. This trial has certainly defied all expectation.
As seems to be the fate of all trials in which this Nipponese is involved, my lord.
So then, let us begin our exploration of the defense's assertion that the waxwork was cardinally involved in this matter. Lord,
Bro, you can't be tired yet. We barely started.
Lord Man 6,
My lord.
are we still awaiting the arrival of Madame Two Spells?
Not at all. He's in the antechamber as we speak and ready to be summoned.
Very well, bring in the witness.
At once, my lord.
Bring in the witness.
Bailiff, show Madame Two Spells to the stand.
Things are about to become a lot more intense. If Trevor is responsible, as I'm sure he is, it means he must have had an accomplice in Dr. Scythe.
And what connects the pair of them is the waxwork.
Yes, the model of the professor. That's the key to the link between these otherwise unrelated individuals. It's a tenuous link, admittedly, but at present, it's all we have to go on. Wow. She got tired of hiring him.
State your name
Wait,
and
no, she already has one, doesn't she? No, she doesn't.
occupation for the court, please. Was it me?
No,
Yeah.
wait, oh yeah!
My name is Madame Esmeralda Two Spells. I'm a waxwork artisan.
You're gonna have some of the most tiring, that's one of the most tiring time right now.
And the proprietress of Madame Two Spells Museum of Waxwork. You will have to pardon me for working as I testify. My new exhibit must open very soon.
Oh, so he finally gets a statue, does he? Now there are two of them in the world.
My, what expression is she carving onto that face?
Death!
A number of days ago, a particular waxwork model was stolen from your museum. Can you confirm this?
Oh,
Wait.
expression.
That is true. At first, we believed it had been kidnapped.
A waxwork model kidnapped.
Yes, my lord. They were. Put the phone away!
It's already recorded
I
on
know,
YouTube.
but I
You can
just
find
want
it
a
no matter
video
what.
from me.
She's
It's
secretly
so
recording me on
funny.
her phone.
She's
you
trying
know.
to get blackmail, you
Oh
know?
my gosh.
One day when Matt needs to get canceled.
How am I gonna get? Oh, record me during Van Zeeks if you want to cancel me.
Yes, my lord. There was a demand for ransom money left behind by the culprit. However, according to what I've just been told outside the courtroom, that was not the true reason. I understand it was utilized as a substitute for the body of a murder victim.
At present, there is no more than conjecture proposed by the defense. This is the victim of the case in question, Mr. Odie Assman.
Wait, question.
But-
do you think do you think that they like created the script first and then did all of like this stuff with the characters, or was it kind of done at the same time?
Probably at the same time. Yeah, have a concept
It's
artist.
just like, what is she carving? Guy's face. Anyway, sorry.
I think maybe some of it gets lost in translation.
Yeah.
And of course, I know him well. He is part of my odious personages exhibit.
I feel like they make the story first, at the very least. Like, they have the base for the story, and then they add characters for each scenario.
Yeah.
Kinstenario.
Yep.
New word. Look it up.
I'm just trying to be like the great ace attorney, teaching vocabulary every time.
I detest to say what is friend, but Mr. Ashman does not resemble the professor at all.
Yes, but perhaps their faces are very similar.
Ha! One has cheeks.
Okay.
That's a reaching joke.
Are you suggesting that we should see now the demasked visage of the professor? Shh, I have the key, but it is strictly forbidden to open the lock.
This is absurd!
Pardon?
I don't know what face you've carved onto your fancy figure beneath that mask. But clearly it won't be that of the actual killer.
Indeed! The man's identity was never made public after all.
The trial took place in a closed court. The proceedings were strictly confidential. The condemned man was summarily executed. His identity remains a closely guarded national secret. Sholmes! No, there's no possible way that a repository of tawdry exhibits could get its hands on that information.
It's Van Zeek's brother. He was alive the entire time.
Yo,
He
wait a
faked his
minute,
death.
wait a minute. No, wait a minute. He's on to something right there. Double down.
Quel dommage!
Quel dommage.
Quel dommage.
They hired her to make a waxwork of her dead of his brother being dead.
It would seem you're unaware of the two smells principles.
What principles?
The family Two Smells has always prided itself on sculpting its models à la perfection. Très bien. Every detail, including the visage, is fashioned with complete fidelity. Et voila! Our principles.
There's a well-known legend about Tuspel's waxworks from the time of the French Revolution.
Two Smells!
Tuspels, sorry. A member of the Tuspels family is said to have made a waxwork of the queen executed.
Executed! Oui, that is true. It was a century ago now.
French accent.
Oui, oui, mon cœur.
I believe the queen's face was carved in the minutes following her death, actually at the guillotine.
You are correct. The model is on display still today in the House of Horrors. We Two Smells will stop at nothing to obtain a faithful replica of our subjects.
Dear me, a somewhat disturbing tenacity of purpose.
It is the only way to obtain a truly lifelike representation of the subject. Shh! And it has been my family's secret for generations.
Do you mean to say that beneath that mask?
Oui. The true visage of the killer is there.
This is ludicrous. It's out of the question.
She was the murderer the entire time.
The professor spread terror throughout Great Britain. As a result, the Madame Tussper's special exhibit remains extremely popular even today. The killer emerging from his own grave. It is a sight to behold. You should come.
I think, madame,
If I wasn't reading along, I'd be like, what the heck are you saying?
it would be beneficial to hear your formal testimony on this matter. You will explain every detail of this macabre model and your personal involvement in its creation.
With pleasure.
Man, that's gonna have a no voice by the end of the day.
The special exhibit in the House of Horrors is based on the rumors that shook society in London. An impression of the visage was taken directly from the corpse, in accordance with Tuspel's family principles. I enlisted the aid of a grave digger and created a mold for the head in the cemetery just before the interment.
I read all that, I have no idea what to even say.
I know.
I hid myself until he gave me a signal. I was there for a very long time that
Oh my
night.
What does she say? Okay.
As dawn approached, I was very worried that I could be discovered.
A grave digger.
The man's saying
You good?
fine.
fine.
I'm just imagining.
This is my judgment-free zone, and you guys are judging me. Okay, I just need to
I'm not
say my
judging
voice.
you.
No,
I'm
I'm
just
not.
laughing.
That's not even the voice. I'm just imagining she's just sitting there by the grave, just behind like a tree, waiting for the grave digger to signal over, and so she can come take a look at the corpse.
Cast a mold of his
Exactly.
face.
I mean, yeah, but it's still weird.
Oh no, that's weird.
Well, I will do all that is necessary to achieve the true resemblance my family is celebrated for. Nobody else knew. Only the grave digger. What harm did he do, huh?
So,
Well,
He grew old. This surprised Vanjing so much he aged instantly. So much stress.
so you truly saw it. The face of that monster.
Shh, not really. I was aware at the time that his identity was a secret. But Daicosmos would not be Daicosmos if we did not insist on absolute fidelity to our sculptures.
I don't believe this.
Stop
Stop laughing.
I'm sorry.
I myself have seen the special exhibit at your museum, madame. A truly blood-curdling.
Why is he becoming French?
In which the murderer is emerging from his own grave.
Is rubbing off on
You
me.
guys want fun voices or no?
No, they're fun. We're I mean, this
The
is the
scene
point
that
of it.
depicts
It's
was the subject of
funny.
many rumors in London 10 years
I'm
ago.
not gonna start laughing if the judge becomes French.
I have here a newspaper from the time.
Her voice has changed the most out of every other voice. Guarantee it.
The special exhibit was based upon the picture in this article.
I mean, I think Ivana originally voiced
It
it.
was the most detailed account of what happened, as reported by the eyewitness who saw it.
Oh look, it says "Oh ass man."
Assman!
Oh.
Oh wait, isn't that? Wait, is it?
Man
no,
rises
no.
from the grave.
It's Trevor from the.
It's too absurd for words.
It's Trevor on the article.
Yeah, yeah. The asthma. Mr. Drebber's dead.
Oh, it says "Oh ass man."
Odie ass man.
Well, I know, but like, why is his name there?
He drew it.
That why?
Why not?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he wrote the article.
Who's the...
The public enjoy absurdity, monsieur. That is why I've reproduced the scene as carefully as possible in my museum.
Who was what?
Huh?
Who was what?
Oh, who is that? Asman?
He's the dead guy.
Assman!
Okay.
The victim. And it's a waxwork from
Oh,
the
whack work.
the exhibit that was stolen some days before the incident at the Great Exhibition, wasn't it?
First line he speaks in 5 minutes, he messes up a word.
That is correct. The professor you see before you hear.
We can't all be voice actors like you, Matt.
I'm
Look
not
at
a
you
voice
go.
Exactly.
Most personally, counsel for the defense proceed with the cross-examination.
This waxwork links Trevor to Dr. Scythe, and there has to be
His voice requires abs. Sorry.
there has to be some reason for that, which hasn't yet come to light.
I have to flex on you. Feel it.
Because it comes.
That's why I can't.
Compressing my voice.
It's why I can't do the old man voice. You know, I have no abs to compress.
Thomas has no abs.
But I'll find it. I'll get to the bottom of what really happened. I'll prove that
ass?
Dr. Scythe and Trevor were in on this crime together. Alright, well, let's just press, I guess. And that rumor would be.
A 10-year hotel now, but when they know London or whatever, forget.
All right, I know just what you're talking about, I think.
Of course. It couldn't be anything else.
I've forgotten all their voices. Yes, that story will never disappear.
The tale of the condemned killer rising from the dead. That is the central attraction of my house of horrors. The rumor was whispered all over the city, and it was like this. It was in Lowgate Cemetery, behind the prison, in the dead of night after the execution of the killer. The entire professor slid back the stone slab, covering his tomb, and emerged from his grave, risen on the third day as a young man, who witnesses felt a scream welling up inside him. But an instant later he had an ear-splitting gunshot from over his shoulder. The bullet struck the emerging corpse, and he fell motionless once more. The scream finally found its way from the mouth of the young witness, who turned and ran for his life.
The corpse climbed out of his own grave?
And then somebody shot him? Who was it?
It's just some guy who's just like a zombie like enthusiast. He's like, one day there's gonna be a zombie apocalypse, and it's gonna start here. He's just roaming around the cemetery, waiting for someone to pop out of his tomb.
Nobody knows even today. But remember, it was just a rumor. Perhaps nothing more than a ghost story. The good people of London, they love stories like this. That is why it was in every newspaper across the capital.
But what was it just a story? I mean, this is exactly the scene that can be seen today at your museum, isn't it?
Oui, the special exhibit was modeled on that very illustration. For a while afterwards, the contents of that article were reproduced in every newspaper imaginable.
I like can't even watch the show. I have to like read it because I don't understand what you're saying. Madame, might I say something?
Please go ahead, mademoiselle.
When something is described as a rumor, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's entirely made up. I believe that often, rumors contain elements of the truth.
I see the people from the East can be just as astute as people of Europe. So tell me, then,
my.
when they say Nibblers are not as smart, is there a shred of the truth in that?
Oh my gosh. Can we be sure, for instance, the professor's execution was successful?
It is not possible for the dead to come back to life.
Sorry?
10 years ago, I was there in Lowgate Cemetery. After the criminal known as the Professor was killed by hanging, I took a wax impression of his visage from the corpse just before it was interred. So I can assure you, the man was dead.
I see.
It would certainly appear that the condemned man suffered the intended fate.
Really? You're not even gonna know the line? You just
Wait, what line?
it just was Van Zeek's and it did ... like he was gonna say something, but then it just you cut it out of the script. This is what he said.
Hold it! Is that true of every waxwork in your museum then?
It is, assuming the subject is dead, of course. Live subjects have to cooperate in a similar way.
She kidnaps them.
Cooperate. I have letters from imprisoned criminals all the time, you know.
What sort of letters?
Love letters! When my time comes, please make a waxwork of me. Comme ça. How I am.
No!
My museum is famous, monsieur! To be made into a waxwork is an honor, and you skip on my line!
I literally thought there was gonna be nothing else.
And for some criminals, a symbol of status even.
Because nothing says hardened criminal better than wax.
And it is thanks to one killer in particular that my museum has gained such popularity in London. I refer to the star as a special exhibit, of course, the Professor.
Whose form you claim to have captured by taking an impression from the actual corpse.
Hey, there's too many people I'm
I
doing.
know.
There are no exceptions to the principles of
I
justice.
Your parents
take
think
one.
I'm insane? I come up here and they just hear screaming.
I can take Van Zeke.
No. He's my favorite voice, heck no.
Hold it!
You
Out
just
of
do-
all the ones
or
she
you do
offers
the,
to
you do the
take,
judge.
I
I'll
don't
do
know,
the judge.
I like the judge.
Okay.
I like my voices.
surely that's illegal, isn't it?
It would seem the proprietress of this repository of novelties was blinded by monetary greed.
We just like leaning heavy towards a certain one voice actor, you know? When one person speaks, they're gonna speak the entire time.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with money. The man is part of London's criminal history. That is why I had to sculpt him, to record his history. It is a raison d'être.
Raison d'être.
Raison d'être.
D'être.
D'être. As it does spell, monsieur.
Dieter.
Reason
But
to
if
be-
the man was convicted in a closed court and sent for immediate execution, then surely nobody but the members of the judiciary present know who the killer's true identity.
Sure, you behind that mask isn't the true face of the professor.
Do you realize what you're saying? The professor's identity is a national secret.
I understand! And now that the truth about the special exhibit has been revealed, it must perhaps close.
Of course it will. As will your entire museum if you don't tread very carefully, madame.
Whoa, Thomas, you have these for Valorant?
Yep, that's why I have them.
For
For
Valorant?
Valorant.
Well, what are they for?
Why would
There's nothing better, you know, there's times like this on my
Why would it be for
computer.
What is the point of this? You just want huge forearms?
No, it's just I'm watching something on my screen, you know? My hands aren't doing anything.
So you just sit here while you're watching anime?
Why not?
Dude, you'd have forms the size. Gosh, they are big.
Yes, obviously.
I'm not even joking. They're like,
Yep.
you got some good look at this.
They look
No,
exactly the same.
No, they don't.
They look exactly the
Look at this. You
same.
have like it widens out there.
Okay.
Guys, he's putting on. He's
You should let him
whoa.
borrow these.
This is the workout arc for Daicosmos. He's gonna be shredded.
Okay, anyway.
When do you go on the TRT?
The what?
Steroids.
Oh. Someone read
That
this?
could be another interesting chapter in the history of my family, I think, don't you?
So 10 years ago on the night of the professor's execution, you took a wax impression of his face from the corpse.
Oui, exactement,
Exactement.
You know,
exactement.
fun fact, the reason I got these original, I was given these because like for a violin, actually I was actually given them for like finger strength.
Oh.
Play Valorant.
Yeah, I played Valorant. The Valorant is not the
Valorant?
violin, yeah.
Valorant?
It's a
Hi.
new sport.
My Asianness just came out. You play violin?
Oh my gosh.
Violin? Violin.
You didn't know I played the
Yeah,
violin?
Violin.
I think I did, but you don't play it recently anymore.
Well, yeah, obviously not. This was years ago I got these.
Okay, well that's like saying I play piano, but obviously I don't play piano, right?
I mean, sure, but I played the violin. That's why I got these. I'm just saying that's where.
So these are 4 years old?
probably older.
They look unused.
Yep. You're supposed to like practice. I was like supposed to practice like just using my fingers.
Oh dang.
Oh!
Yeah.
Right?
No way.
Try?
Can you do it with your fingers?
No, I can't do it with my fingers.
Well, you can get it close.
Not really.
Wait a
It's
minute,
so
hold
far.
on.
It can
Look.
close all the way.
Oh my gosh, wait, I want to try one. Ow! Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Yo, that's a sadistic, like.
Sadistic.
Yeah, that's like.
Hold it!
Hold it.
Now look at all
Sorry,
this
we
muscle
derailed
that
you.
goes.
Thomas has to go soon.
Oh yeah, that's
His
Not
bedtime's in
really.
1 minute.
Is it? Okay. Shoot, we better
almost
hurry.
7:59.
Oh, it's almost 8.
Alright, guys, thanks for tuning in.
You were there longer than you expected to be.
I had some difficulties in capturing the subject's form correctly. As I removed the mask, the mouth of the cadaver fell open, and I had some problems with his chin. Chin.
Dare I ask?
The man had been dead for a short while already, you see.
He was falling apart.
His muscles were relaxing, and consequently his chin would not align itself correctly.
Reminds me of a YouTube show I saw about a Marvel comic. It's like a Spider-Man universe where like everyone's falling apart, so Spider-Man's constantly keeping together with his web. It's like pretty dark.
Oh.
Yeah.
Also, this is like probably the best episode,
Oh,
hands
dear.
down, and we've got no viewers.
what a
reaction.
horrible thought.
It's okay.
Sad.
Under normal circumstances, I would have an assistant with me. However, that night I was alone, and as a consequence, I missed my preferred window of time.
What do you mean?
When I take the impressions and fishes of a cadaver, I always wait just 3 hours after death.
Why 3 hours? Is that amount of time significant?
It is because of rigor mortis.
Wrigley Mortis?
Rick and Morty.
It's the name given to a phenomenon that occurs in recently deceased bodies. As a rule, 3 hours post-death, the muscles in the body begin to stiffen. By approximately 10 hours post-death, the entire body is completely rigid and inert. And then from that point on, the muscles slowly start to revert to their relaxed state.
Did not know it lasted that long.
Kind of weird.
Interesting. fact is often used to estimate the time of death when a body is discovered.
It's just kind of dark.
I've heard of rigor mortis, but did not know
What it meant.
So no, I knew that what it meant. I didn't realize it lasted 10 hours. Well, that was an education, if a slightly scary one.
As a man with such days, rigor mortis commences 3 hours after death, and it starts in the jaw.
I see.
I
Right.
see. So that's why you wait.
Before the times the mouth falls open, and it is very difficult to do my work.
Ugh, it's getting hard for me to do my work with all this talk of corpses. I wonder if that information the court just heard from man. Wonder about that.
It's significant.
It's gotta be significant, obviously.
Obvious.
The information about rigor mortis that you just shared with us.
My liquid death is still.
Yep. Would you mind including it in your formal testimony? I believe it could be significant, you see?
Wasn't that 2 weeks ago?
Probably longer.
Dude, don't. We kept this trash in your room for 2 weeks and it doesn't even look like it changed.
So it's like, there's no like food stuff. It's just like plastics and papers. I don't eat anything in my room usually.
Why not?
I like keeping it clean. Perhaps, but it's less likely.
Of course, I do not mind at all. I get the feeling that someone is on their phone.
It's so funny how, like, the second I look down for 2 seconds, I can't help feeling that after this latest topic, the atmosphere in the courtroom has become extremely frayed.
I like how the music stopped. This is no time for jokes, Mrs. Sato.
Madame, kindly amend your testimony as discussed.
Bien sûr.
Took me a very long time because before the onset. What do we even have that's relevant to this?
Are you on the right game, by the way?
Give me a mind.
Oh, you're on the right game. Okay. Wait, it's a turn. Okay. Just checking.
Just autopsy report. Death by hanging confirmed at midnight. Does that matter?
Wait, she literally waved the key to the sculpture.
Yeah.
Let's just like
She said
pin
she
her
can't
down with the
open it.
police, and then like,
No, this
open
she's
her
not
up.
allowed. It's a national secret. Beep. Rigor mortis being the phenomenon described whereby the corpse becomes stiff after death. I think you said that it starts at the jaw about 3 hours post-death. Is that right?
Oui, c'est ça. C'est ça. Of course, the exact duration depends a little on the season.
I didn't realize a waxwork artisan would be so well versed in the subject.
That is only elementary knowledge.
Just no.
No. That is only elementary knowledge in the field of legal medicine.
Well, I had no idea about it. Well, maybe I won't admit to my ignorance about forensic science.
I can ask my father to give you a very simple primer if you'd like.
I think corpses should be
Are you
automated.
sure the volume is at the right level, Thomas?
What do you mean?
I'm looking at my voice, and it feels like it's on par with the music. Look, this is background music, right? And this is my voice, talking like this.
You gotta talk louder. You can't whisper as
Why can't you turn it down?
I mean, I could turn it down.
Just un peu. That means a little in French. Okay.
Oh dear. I'll do my very best.
Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. I feel like there's something here, but I have no idea what it is.
It's probably the Rick and Morty.
What?
This one.
What about? There's nothing about rigor mortis in
Go
any
to
of these. This is what I
the-
think it would be, but it doesn't.
Confirmed
It just
at
says death at
midnight.
midnight, but you never talked about a time specifically.
I have no idea. I wasn't paying attention, to be honest. I'm like talking, but I don't. Objection! I'm so lost in the sauce right now.
What? What did you just do?
I just presented. Why not?
What was it though?
I did the
Well, it was
autopsy
wrong.
report.
It was wrong.
No, it's right.
It was right.
Music
the
stopped.
music stopped.
Oh, you're right.
That and two spells. I have here an autopsy report that was filed 10 years ago now. It confirms the death of the professor following his execution at the gallows.
Wait, how do we
Thomas
even...
Thomas knew he had to leave early, so he like looked it up beforehand.
That's
exactly
right.
what to present and where.
Uh,
Wait, why'd you do that, Thomas? I don't know.
There's literally no. First of all, we added that statement, so it has to be that statement, and there's nothing else relevant about the death.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Is that what it said in the wiki?
Let me look it up real quick.
I'm just kidding.
It's a problem.
I believe it is because your testimony and
Did
a
we-
particular.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Did we ever examine that?
There's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing else to exact. It's literally just. This is all it says. It just says like hanging by death by hanging at midnight.
Oh, that's what that was. Gotcha.
Okay.
I believe it is because your testimony and a particular detail in the report completely contradict one another.
Quack!
Quack?
What did you say?
Quack?
Quack! Quack!
Are you going to explain yourself, my Nipponese friend?
According to her testimony, Madame Two Spells was creating her wax impression just before dawn. And at that time, rigor mortis had not yet set in. Am I correct so far, madam?
You are, yes. As I said, the stiffening is a chance of the sign of rigor mortis 2 to 3 hours after death. But the man's chin was limp, so he cannot have been dead for a long time.
Or he was dead for a really long time.
Right.
Colton!
This is not Jump King, you are correct. But on the other hand, if you look at Dr. Sight's report, it quite clearly states the following. Also, what is with
What is a French voice?
What's wrong with the voice?
You have problem? I killed your character in D&D!
Death by hanging confirmed at midnight, 17th June.
No!
If the professor indeed died at midnight that day, then by the time you were sculpting his
Oh,
face...
I'm giving this video just for this voice? It's a good voice.
What?
Savage.
Matt's just going for that stereotypical Wicked Witch of the East voice, you know?
But
West?
French.
But French.
Wicked Witch of the French.
It's good. It's a
Rigor
good
mortis
voice.
would have already set in.
Oui, yes, you are right. The chin, it would have been completely stiff.
In other words, this report is wrong.
Objection!
Objection! No coroner makes mistakes when recording the time of death. The very idea is absurd.
In that case, there's only one possible conclusion. The execution didn't actually take place at the stated time.
I'm impossible!
I'm possible!
I'm impossible!
Order! Counsel, this is beyond folly! Not only do you indict the author of the report, Dr. Scythe, but you also implicate members of the staff at Barclay Prison when the execution took place! Bah, heck!
Extraordinary! Not in my day.
Objection! My
Objection.
learned friend appears to have overlooked one very crucial fact.
What facts? Also, Colton, how's the audio?
The professor died that night without question.
He did, of course he did. I moved the man's limb jaw with my own hands.
Objection! Yes, the professor died that night, but what if he didn't die at the gallows?
Didn't die it? Are you insane?
Audio's just fine, good enough for me.
Alright, did you actually just like the video for the voice, Colton? I'm gonna have to have a word.
What exactly are you suggesting did happen in that case?
It's almost impossible to believe, but it would explain the link between Dr. Scythe, the professor, and that one other person of interest. Ah, yes, that one guy, I know him. I have evidence that will explain exactly what I'm suggesting happened that night. I do?
Unsubscribing actually because of the voice.
Oh my god.
Guess you'll never watch. I guess you'll
Counsel!
never see the Jump King content.
Present the evidence at once! The evidence that allegedly explains what really happened on the night of the professor's execution!
Confirmed, Colton hates French people. Confirmed. Unsubscribe for Ace Attorney, resubscribe for Jump King. Confirmed, Colton doesn't like anime or VNs, let it be
What
known.
really happened on the night of the professor's execution?
Maybe go to the newspaper and
That one, do that one. 10-year-old article, baby. Do it.
I'm betting it's that one.
Save,
This
save.
doesn't make sense. No, we don't need a save.
go to the article.
Anime
again and
is
try to
cringe,
read
not
it.
gonna lie.
Can we not read it better?
I mean, this is all you can do.
Hold on. Like this probably. Right?
Charles Darwin.
Why does it say that?
Charles Darwin to receive Copley Medal.
Oh.
The Great Stink. Mad Sheep Rampage.
Unexplained phenomenon.
I think
Great
it's the
Oxford
gunshot.
region.
I think. At the same time, I don't think this is it, but there's nothing else I can imagine it would be.
We'll save and then present something.
Sorry, you just say present something?
Music didn't stop!
What happened that night is written very plainly in this newspaper article. Executed criminal returns in the dead of the night at local cemetery.
You're suggesting it was a corpse coming back from the dead now.
Well, if this article is to be believed, yes. The professor, assumed dead following his execution, emerged from his grave and was
What
killed
the
again.
heck did you do?
Yeesh. Ugh.
I can't put it back.
Made Thomas mad.
Nope, nope.
Don't
Lost your
be a
privileges.
fool. It's simply
Go
a
to
rumor
timeout.
published by the Gutter Press.
Can you be certain of that?
Are you serious?
Are you serious?
The point is, as the article says, there
serious.
I knew it was gonna come up. There was a witness to what happened. I was thinking about doing it myself.
My word! Yes, indeed!
Maui! The young man who stole into the cemetery by chance tonight!
That means, but yes.
Of course, there was a witness. The story didn't write itself, but obviously the man made it all up.
And in any case, this was 10 years ago now. There would surely be no hope of finding him.
Objection!
Where's my tethered-
Homestuck stream?
Oh,
We'll worry about it.
Yeah.
In sync. Streamer.
On the contrary, my lord,
Who are you
we all
tethering
know this
with?
witness well. Like, anyone who
Colton?
wants. Colton,
Critch?
Tyler, Critch, and Marty's the plan. You can join in too
I
if you
feel
want.
left out, not gonna lie.
I messaged
I'm not paying $20 to be tethered to you guys.
It's
I'll be
$8.
honest. I'm not.
If it's on sale, maybe even cheaper.
Hold on. Can we beat it in under 2 hours?
We're not gonna beat
Oh
it.
my.
What?
Are you suggesting, counsel, that you identified the person in question? But you know who claims to have seen these utterly incredible events take place.
Oh, deal of a lifetime. He'll buy it for you if you promise to finish the game.
Whoa, whoa!
Not even, that's a great deal.
There's a free meal in it for you if you guys beat it in the 2 hours!
It's true.
There's no way I can beat it in 2 hours. That's
The estimated average time to beat it is only like 36 hours. It's not
What
bad.
the heck? Yeah, maybe if we all beat it ourselves and then practiced it and then got tethered together.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like a
Hogistic
1% chance.
heck no.
Yes, my
Almost
lord. In fact, you could say that he's right here before my very eyes.
Oh! You will substantiate your latest claim now then, counsel!
Choose what's his face? Not him.
Why would I pick anyone else?
Why would you pick
If I could just lose some HP? The man in question is
You really
Enoch
look it
Drebber.
Drebber!
The previous witness!
The special exhibit in the House of Horrors at Madame Two-Spell's Museum of Waxwork recreates that decade-old scene in great detail. The condemned criminal emerging from the grave, and beside the two, a young man with a lantern stumbling upon the terrifying sight. And that young man is 10 years younger, Mr. Enoch Drebber.
He's cool hair.
Order!
Oh, nothing from Dom's. Okay.
Surely not, counsel!
Drebber was there, in Lowgate Cemetery.
What does Isaac talk about, Mr. River? His name is significant.
Of course, Madame Two-Spells doesn't know, does she? Yes, it's extremely significant, madam, to your situation as well.
Madame! What situation?
He's Japanese, man.
Well, he wouldn't say it that way either. He would say something like,
Madame. George,
The
good
theft.
night, Jojo.
The theft of the Professor Waxwork.
Holy shit!
The theft
Sorry.
of the Waxwork Professor from your museum some days ago.
Thomas
was
can't
perpetrated.
handle it, dude. He's so.
Please finish that
No,
statement.
no, that's fine.
Was perpetrated by the very same man.
no! No. But that would mean
Madam Two-Spells. It would appear you know the name Enoch Drebber.
we, yes, I know it, but from long ago in the past.
What?
10 years ago. Oh my.
Good gracious!
Explain yourself. Tell us everything you know.
Yes, just of course. Oh my gosh. The story of a young man is a terrible sight. He witnesses a cemetery 10 years ago. Was published in every single newspaper in London and throughout Great Britain. However, in all of the articles, the witness was simply described as a certain young man. No details were published about his identity. His name was never revealed. That is apart from one newspaper. The Daily Circus! It is a paper from which comes the article I've already shown in the court.
You're saying that his full name was only publicized in that article.
Goodness me, yes, here it is! The university student who experienced the shocking event is Mr. Enoch Drebber!
Yeesh. When did he get so dramatic?
It's like, yeah, it's like a wrestling thing.
From the blue corner, a disciple of science at the University of London and resident of its dorms.
There it is.
Oh, there we go.
There, that was good.
Unbelievable!
Mr. Enoch!
When I read the article, I went to meet with the man. His discovery as a condemned criminal coming back to life in the cemetery and the dead of night would make a perfect exhibit for my house of horrors, whether it was the truth or not.
I see! So you want me to meet Mr. Drebber in order to sculpt a waxwork of the man, did you? Thomas, I saw someone in the hallway, I think.
It's a
I'm
ghost,
being
don't
too
worry about
loud.
it. You can ignore it.
Exactement! He was studying science at the university in London in those days. He was just a poor student. I paid him £5 to model for the waxwork. Waxwork! And since the time, it has been in my museum to recreate the scene of terror from the cemetery. Do you still hate the voice, Colton? Or has it grown on you? I need to know! I will bring this voice back as a D&D character! I will put them on your ship! And they will bug the crap out of you!
Don't think he won't, man. We'll be stuck with this for the rest of the campaign. So 10 years ago, a young man appealed to the public about an extraordinary event he witnessed. A criminal who had been put to death re-emerging from his grave in the middle of the night. But the public treated his claim as nothing more than an amusing anecdote. That was soon forgotten. 10 years later, that same man steals a waxwork model of the executed criminal, ostensibly to use as a body double for the victim in the case we're discussing here today. Even though the waxwork's build is a poor match for the victim, and its face is obscured by a mask.
Every character should have as much energy as that witch.
Oh, so now you're judging my other characters, huh?
So the question is,
You piece.
why would the man do such a thing? Which brings us to 3 days ago when the birdcage crashed into the Crystal Tower. If the birdcage had in fact contained not the body of Mr. Assman, but the same waxwork, the coroner from Scotland Yard who investigated Dr. Sight.
No, not
would have
just
noticed
yours,
immediately.
everyone's. Well, I think Critch is good.
I don't know if he's talking about the stream or talking about D&D.
Yeah.
Well, are you talking about D&D or are you talking about the
The
stream?
stream, obviously.
Yeah.
As the witch, every character has the same energy as the witch. It's probably the stream, not
Yeah.
D&D.
But I was talking to them about D&D. Everyone should put on the witch accent for their characters from now. From now on.
Sounds like Toad.
And yet she stumbled this autopsy report for the victim.
I'd be
Which the
impressed if
credits
Thomas
seen
could do
earlier.
that accent. I would.
And yet she stumbled at this autopsy report!
There it is, everybody!
Why?
You're so right, it's actually Toad.
Because the waxwork was that of the professor. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
don't you think that'd be such a fitting voice for Van Zeeks?
That witch is just Toad.
Dr. Scythe put her name to a document confirming the death of a condemned criminal who is still alive. A criminal whose apparent resurrection was witnessed by Mr. Drebber. But that misconduct was a deadly secret the coroner would do anything to protect. This is now Ace Attorney, Mushroom King.
Title, that's the
Mushroom
title.
Kingdom, here we come. Which is precisely why Mr. Drebber used that particular waxwork as the body double.
Ah!
Ugh, he's getting shot.
Ah!
Imagine if people act like this in life.
It'd be fun.
It'd be
more fun.
so entertaining.
Yeah.
The
My
judges are
lord.
slamming the table. This guy's crushing like chalices and throwing wine,
bottles.
and people they're like dodging
No,
it.
we can only appreciate this because people don't do this in real life. You get
Honestly.
you get used to it if everyone does it all the time, everywhere you go. You know, it's the absurdity that makes it stand out. This court must summon Dr. Scythe to the stand. The fence is determined to find out exactly how the coroner and Mr. Drebber are connected.
But according to the missive I received this morning through the prosecutor's office, Dr. Scythe is unable to participate in these proceedings. Is that not the case?
Honestly, I'll change the stream's name to that for now because I didn't even change the stream's title from last time. Now that I think about it.
Ace Attorney Mushroom King. The best voices. Which voice is the best? Which voice is the best? And type it which, like the witch.
No.
Yeah, that's a better title. Which voice?
Fine. Actually, I
voice
like that
do you
better.
prefer?
Anyway.
Which
You read it like the which voice is the best, or you can read it as like which voice.
Oh, it's
Thanks
true.
for explaining.
I actually was not thinking about that.
Did
You
you
didn't
not? I
understand it.
understood. Oh,
You were
okay.
trying to meme on me just barely.
I was not even.
Really, you just memed on Thomas. You just.
I was not even thinking about it.
She told us her. Oh my gosh, she told us so herself, didn't she? Lord Van Six won't be summoning me as a witness.
Okay, well, we
Let's
literally
talk
just
about
read
it.
this. It's
Let's
fine.
talk about it.
Imagine not coming prepared with the title for the stream.
What do you
That's
mean,
every stream.
That's, I was about to say, what do you mean? That's always how I am. Something happened on that night of the killer's execution 10 years ago, and surely nobody would want to get to the bottom of that more than Lord Van Zeke.
That Van Zeke's wife.
No.
Are you trying to ship him right now?
It actually would fit so well together, though. Honestly.
I just realized Van Zeke's kind of has a mullet going.
Yeah, I guess.
The prosecution
Yeah,
calls
actually.
for the instructions in that
I think
missive
it's,
to
like,
be scrapped.
Tucked behind his ear.
Yeah, maybe.
Then.
Right? Right.
But Lord Van Sakes, the missive was issued from the Lord Chief Justice's office!
The assigned prosecutor has the final say on policy in any particular trial. In other words, me.
Yes.
Let Enoch Drebber and Dr. Scythe both take the stand together.
Oh, fat.
Order!
How does that now sound like Dio going, order?
First of all, Dio doesn't go that.
Oh, is that? You're right. You're right.
Oof.
What does he do? Muda.
Yep.
Very well, I will uphold your request!
He might be a good amount racist, but everyone deserves a ship.
Wow. Even racist. The good thing is she's wider than the white characters, so they're a great fit, honestly. She's literally wider than every other character in this game.
Bailiff, send a subpoena with immediate effect addressed to Dr. Scythe of the Forensic Investigation Team. The woman is compelled to attend on Her Majesty's orders.
I need something to drink, honestly.
Alright then. And
I
Dr.
have
Drebber and Dr. Scythe.
You can go grab my water in my car. I have a big bowl of cold water.
I want it.
thing.
Do a water bottle, or you can just get the one from the car. Because that'll be cold.
Go grab it. Hurry, run.
Wait, I want to do
I'll
my
take over your
lines.
characters from then.
No!
And you're gonna rewatch the stream and see
I guess
how
you better
horrible I
hurry
do.
then.
Go fast.
Oh,
Faster you go, the less I'll
no!
do.
Okay, I'll be talking for a bit anyway. Alright then, Enoch Drebber and Dr. Scythe, if they weren't colluding with one another, this crime could have never been committed. I'm just a stone's thrown away, I can feel it. But the truth behind all of this is about to come out. He'll black out, Matt's got plenty of time. Oh, and they're already here.
Oh.
I thought the statue was a character for a second.
Thank you, Matt. Sorry, I almost heard his name. Let's see.
Let's see it!
Thank you for your attendance at such short notice, Dr. Sai. She just says it so deep I can't do it. I'm disappointed in you, Lord Van Zieks. You've completely betrayed the agreed policy of both Scotland Yard and the prosecutor's office. Betrayal is not in my nature, as long as the truth lies. If it is, if there's even a hint of wrongdoing, then no matter whom it concerns or disgruntled, we'll pursue the matter to the bitter end, as would any prosecutor worth his salt.
Mr. Drebber, you took the victim's life by means of a machine that you constructed in your workshop.
Oh, that's good.
Was
Oh, I did him.
You
didn't
did do him. I just try to think of how to describe it. And Dr. Scythe, as the investigating coroner, you were the first on the scene to examine the victim's body. It is the belief of the defense that you collaborated with each other and were both complicit in this crime.
And where's your evidence?
At present, we have no definitive evidence, but we do have a very significant clue.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking, of course, about the waxwork.
I literally only did like one line of Van Zieks, that's it.
Oh.
Horrible.
What was the line?
Not very good.
This model of the killer known as the Professor, who
Let me
was
just-
sentenced to death 10 years ago.
They can't go any. You don't need to tell me. I witnessed the. I started doing that in a low voice. I witnessed the man's execution with my own eyes and officially pronounced him dead.
That remains to be seen.
That's so.
According to newspaper reports from the time, on the night following his execution, the killer came back to life.
Don't waste my time.
And the sole witness to that mysterious event was you, Mr. Drebber, wasn't it? If what you saw in the graveyard that night 10 years ago wasn't
Aren't you
some
Drebber?
chilling fiction, but reality, it would make you privy to a very great secret of Dr. Science. A secret so profound it could compel the coroner to agree to collaborate in your evil scheme and theft. Wouldn't he just lie and say he didn't see anything? Mr. Drebber, tell the court, tell everyone the truth of what you saw that night in Lowgate Cemetery.
We're just not gonna read these.
Apparently he's not going to claim that.
Especially not after the.
I can't even read these fast enough.
Block 'em, beep, beep, bop, bop, bop. Raga, caca, caca.
That's him laughing.
Yep.
I think I'm gonna change his voice.
Okay.
What an interesting twist.
That's definitely not what it was last time, I will say.
When at the time, not one person would take me seriously. Yet now, here we are 10 years later, and suddenly my story matters. And in a court of law, too.
He's like a robot.
I guess. Oh.
Very well then, if everyone so wishes. Let's be frank.
What would it be?
I mean, he's still a person.
I know.
Let's be frank.
Oh,
I'll
that's
tell you
very-
the truth of what
That's
happened
fine.
weird.
that night.
I'll
The
tell you.
characters
what
of this
it's
game are
worth.
so weird. They have to be weird. That's the whole point.
For what it's worth.
Oh boy, this guy's gonna go through 10 voices on his point.
Worth.
Do whatever you want. I'm doing a freaking toad for which voice?
It's true. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to fit.
So, Mr. Drummer, your testimony, please, about the events of that night 10 years ago.
Okay.
You will tell the court exactly what is done. Like ground in Lowgate Cemetery.
Yes, of course. As you wish.
I think I prefer this voice.
Really?
I don't know
How come
anymore.
you're over here like, stop judging my voice?
I
And
literally
then we
said
start
that.
judging-
I said that to you. I said I am doing a toad voice, so you should do
Yeah,
whatever
after.
you want.
But at first you're like, stop judging.
You are
We
gaslighting
weren't
me.
judging. I'm not gaslighting
Roll the
you.
footage. Hey, why you pull my earbud out? You're like taking away my power to hear?
Yeah.
No. Don't pull on top of his headphones. I felt his like booty hole tense up. He's getting mad. He's like, you're gonna break them. I felt it.
I'm sorry.
Go back, watch the stream.
Where's it? How did
You
you
tensed
feel
up. You
booty
went-
hole tense up, huh?
Just how tense I am.
That's how tense it is.
Ah, okay, why do I do this? character as.
The reason I was in Lowgate Cemetery.
Someone read it. Anyone.
Ah!
Okay.
At this rate, I'm just gonna read it. Good grief.
How would you do the voice?
The reason I was in love
How do you
with
know?
Cemetery-
Hold on, I want to see what
Oh boy. The reason I was in Lowgate Cemetery all 10 years ago was for a spot of moonlight, shall we say. I don't know. I think I know how to voice this guy. I wasn't thinking about this.
Can we just like do like a chat bot? And just
chat punch?
pull it up to here.
Touch, just like the series, like the Google Microsoft Sam voice.
Yep.
Yes, the illustration in that newspaper article was based on what I witnessed
Was based.
that night. But thinking back now, I realize that I never actually saw the professor. Soon afterwards, I was visited by a young woman, sculpted a model of me in wax. Then I gave up on my dream of becoming a scientist, and it was all because of that newspaper article.
Oh, tickle.
That could just be his character. He has a different voice every time. Yeah, he has like a voice box.
Changing voice box.
Wait a minute. You're
I have
claiming you didn't
love.
actually see the professor now?
You do this voice.
Of course.
You'd have
Of
to
course.
have us screw
You'd
this
have
if
to
you
have us
believed
screw
a corpse
this
could
if
come
you
back from the dead.
Alright, we only need one person reading it.
He's like trying to corral us. He's like, okay,
It's like a bunch of
don't ruin my
children.
stream.
But you're saying this article is.
Not what the paper is printed on. I think that would describe it perfectly, yes.
Ah,
If the details in the article aren't true, it nullifies your argument for why Dr. Drebber and Dr. Scythe would have been working together.
Dr. Trevor.
so he's discrediting himself to cripple my argument.
Tell me, witness, you claim to have been in the cemetery on some auxiliary business. Can you elaborate?
That's right. Grave robbing, to be
Every
precise.
time he does that thing with his eyeball, he changes voice.
Gosh,
Grave robbing.
sounds like a lot of work.
As you know, Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Prison.
You know what else sounds like a lot of work?
So among students
Reading
at
out
the
every line in
university,
an Ace Attorney.
it had
Who
a
would do that?
reputation for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts.
Grave robbing, you say?
Yes, exhuming fresh corpses to sell is reasonably lucrative. Of course, I never laid a finger on any valuables buried with the dead.
Just
Why
their
not?
organs. Yeah, what
Yeah.
the freak? So you are one of the so-called resurrectionists, a particularly unpleasant scourge on society.
Their organs, it's fine, but their valuables, too much,
I know.
too
that's
far.
weird. That's a weird moral line to draw. I don't know how you get there.
Actually, my fellows and I went by another name, the Repurposers.
They were just doing organ donation before it was, popular.
Okay.
That is quite beyond the pale. You would invite divine retribution, sir.
Yes, well, I think I suffered retribution enough. The Daily Circus eventually unearthed my name and put it in print. It caused me a great many headaches. In the end, I had to leave the university. That was the only paper with the bad grace to identify me, unambiguously, I might add.
I see.
Out of interest, who drew the illustration for this article?
Ah, yes, that was the reporter who exposed me. Sketched that right in front of me as I described the scene.
Obviously, as time ticked on, I bitterly regretted what I'd done.
I wish, as the character, you could just tell Drebber to sit down and be a normal human being.
Claiming to have seen something I never truly saw. Foolish, very foolish.
Well, counsel for the defense, you may proceed to the cross-examination now.
At once, my lord. Alright, it's probably gonna be about the reporter, because it was probably ODS Man.
It's because it says OS man on the paper. Present it. I do not need to press.
Oh, what do you mean present where, though?
Oh
Keep going, 'cause it
my
says-
gosh.
That's when I was exposed, whatever.
Look at her, bud.
Scientist. I know.
Keep going.
That's it. There's nothing else.
Oh, there's nothing else.
Press something. I don't know.
Hold it!
Hold it.
The strange is happening at Lowgate Cemetery, which you now deny. Oh, it's gonna be a press. Or whatever
Not
it's called.
entirely. I ran to fetch the police at the time, you know. I was shaking like a leaf. But they didn't believe a word of it. In fact, I was very nearly arrested myself.
So you went to the police instead.
Started
Wait, no,
big.
wait, that's not what he said. So you went to the papers instead.
I started big with the London News. But unsurprisingly, they didn't want to know either. And well, it was reporters from the gossip rags, the gutter press, that came to get my story. And it spread like the plague through the capital as gossip-hungry Londoners lapped up the tale.
The story was in every single paper at the time, with the exception of some broadsheet.
And yet only 2 or 3 of them actually interviewed me personally. Most of the accountants turned out to be very interpretive accounts. Interpretive ghost stories.
What about the article from the Daily Circus?
That particular journalist found me at my dormitory. I don't know how, but he discovered my name. So I recounted to him exactly what had happened that night.
And from your description, he drew this illustration.
Precisely. That's how I learned that the condemned man was the infamous professor. Because the reporter told me so. I had no idea myself. You see.
Newspaper reporters are wont to snoop.
What was the other time that you did this weird nonsense?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
at the beginning of it, it was
Newspaper
like a wont to
reporters
something.
are wont to snoop around in matters that don't concern them. Aren't wont to. Though the scene portrayed in the illustration is accurate then.
Well,
There.
Hold it!
Gotta be something here. That woman being Madame Two Spells, of course.
precisely, I must say. I didn't expect to run into her again like this, Tim.
As I have. Oh,
Our body name published.
She said I had to explain.
as I
Wait, go back.
explained.
She said I have to explain.
As I explained.
As I explained, I went by the name published in the article, and comme ça, I found the man.
Yes, the article in the Daily Circus, I think you said.
I was a poor student with barely a penny to my name at the time. And the young lady put £5 in front of me.
So you readily consented having a waxwork of yourself made and gave permission for it to be put on display.
I did. I should sell what little I had to sell, I conclude.
Ah oui, I remember now. I purchased something else from you that day. N'est-ce pas?
N'est-ce pas?
What? N'est-ce pas? Ta? What does it mean?
Did you? I can't say I remember.
Yo no sé.
What was it, madam?
It's camarga.
Ah,
Oh, yes, I made a point of taking it whenever I made an excursion into any cemetery.
oh, so it's gonna actually be his camera, and he's gonna have to film somewhere for it, and he's gonna actually have a picture of something.
You took a camera with you, sir. To what end?
To record the details of the bodies I disinterred.
But I had no intention of ever visiting a graveyard again after that night, so I sold it.
I see.
But I still have it, monsieur. It is but as a special exhibit in my house of horrors. I am very meticulous about such details. It is a two-spell way.
It would seem then that this is the very camera Mr. Drebber took with him to Lowgate Cemetery on the night in question.
Yes,
Cemetery.
interesting.
Why? We examine it more?
Whoops.
If they ever make an Ace Attorney movie and they decide to do a dub,
There's
up
live
there
action
first.
Ace Attorney movie in Japanese.
Not live action.
Live action or anime?
It's actually
It's live action. There's also an anime.
Does it suck?
I'm sure. I don't think there's any good live
What
action.
about the
animes.
anime?
It also was not very good.
Oh.
What's
Wait.
Drebber up to? Why would he
Wait.
suddenly change his tune and can't explain?
Can we examine the camera?
Yeah.
I wonder if perhaps it's because his circumstances have changed now.
What circumstances?
I'm sorry. That
Well,
was the first time I did it.
no.
Second time?
Like,
Third or fourth?
where you, like, it gets
Go back
hot
and
you
count,
pull it
chat.
down. No, you
Yes.
can't see it, though. Like, not really, because it, like, will barely get tugged at.
Well, every time you do this, right?
Watch how I do it. Well, if he admits to having seen the professor emerging alive from his grave 10 years ago, he'll expose a secret in Dr. Scythe's past that she would desperately want to hide.
Yes, of course. But if Trevor and Dr. Scythe are working together now, then if Trevor were to betray her, there would be no reason for her to continue to cooperate. In that case, there's only one way around it, and I'll have to prove he really did see it. Prove he really did see the professor's corpse coming back from the dead as he originally claimed.
Yes, Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo, exactly.
Alright, let's put the
I
camera.
can never say his name, like, fast.
You've
It's
gotten
like,
so much better at it.
It's true.
If you go back to like episode 1, you're like, Mr. Naruhodo.
I just can't. It's just, I don't know, it's just a hard word for Naruhodo. Naruhodo.
Naruhodo.
What a wonderful machine!
Really love contraptions like this, don't you?
Oh yes, anything mechanical I find absolutely irresistible.
Almost irresistible, surely.
Hold on. Kink unlocked.
Well, whenever I see a pocket watch, for example, I can't help myself. We have to take it apart.
That's worrying.
Yes, Father tells the time by the rumblings of his stomach now. Given up while having a watch.
Or Professor Mikotoba. Right, bloodstains.
Look, Mr. Naruhodo.
What is it?
On the bellows just there. Just here. Seems to some very dark red stain.
Yes, you're right. It looks like blood, actually.
Oh my.
I'm sure it's not what you're thinking. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, all she wrote.
Wonder what we're supposed to do. What are you talking about?
Wait, which one did you...
He never saw the
Press?
professor.
Okay. I think I explained already, didn't I? Locate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Prison.
Cemetery's in the prison.
So it was
Or is
renowned
it outside
among
the prison?
us students at the university, being haunted by the ghosts of the condemned.
I was talking to this guy at work, just super off topic. Talking to this guy at work, and he's talking about the time he got arrested. And when he got arrested, they just fined him because there was no room in the jail. Like
Okay.
he would have been jailed.
Where
Was
was
it?
he?
So
it's
Where
so
was
full.
he
It
living?
was here in
How is there no?
Utah. Anyway, sorry.
So all you just commit crimes in places that have too many
Listen,
people.
I didn't realize that. Okay, what I want to say with that story is I didn't realize that that could happen.
Yeah.
Oh, the jail's full, so you're not going to jail. What? Yeah, you're just free to go.
Yeah, I
Can you
guess.
believe that? That's crazy.
That's pretty weird.
What if there's like two guys that get convicted,
Flip a
and
coin.
then there's only like one space? Bro.
They're both like stalling for time, so the other one has to get sent in first. That would be a funny short.
There'd be no way they knew about that. No, we know about that though.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, go back. I didn't read the last
Oh,
one.
okay.
For some absurd reason, I was scared of the graveyard at night, and as a result, only too willing to believe that nonsense about the dead coming back to life.
But you said you actually saw it.
I said what I'd seen in my mind's eye.
After all, resurrection is impossible, isn't it? You'd have to be unhinged to think otherwise.
Because you only have one functioning eye, man.
Unless, of course, you have some evidence that proves I encountered the professor that night.
I don't know. Is there any material evidence that could show you really did see the professor?
If we have anything at all, Mr. Naruhodo.
I know. I need to present it against that irritatingly backtracking statement of it.
The point is, that night was a pivotal moment in my life.
Guess I can present the camera here.
Sure.
I actually saw the
Objection!
Yep, not it. Alright, would like to object to that last statement. Okay. Okay, I haven't pressed the first last statements yet, I guess. By moonlighting, you mean grave robbing, do you?
Surely you only need to look at the graveyard scene and my appearance to gauge.
Gauge.
Is it gauge? Okay. Gauge the answer to that?
Lantern and spade.
Well, who on earth would want to buy a dead body?
Bury it.
Any major hospital.
A hospital?
In order to better understand the human body, the study of anatomy is crucial to medical science.
So you telling me they just accepted dead bodies at the hospital?
From like thieves?
But there isn't a hospital in the world that has enough specimens to work with. Though obviously, you can't openly express an interest in obtaining more by dubious means. As aspiring scientists, we young research students had no money to work with, as I'm sure you can imagine. So we made surreptitious arrangements with the hospital via some of our medical student acquaintances. We would never take anything of value from the graves. This was all for furtherance of science.
Science?
That's what we all told ourselves every time we strolled into the graveyard at night, Spade.
That's what I tell myself when I rob the bank. It's for science.
You realize body snatching is a serious crime. If you were caught, you could expect the gravest of consequences.
Gravest.
Whoa!
We students
Lot of
were
puns
caught.
this episode.
We students were caught between the hammer and the anvil. We needed funds for research.
Professor Harebrained said exactly the same.
I'm quite speechless at the apparent levity with which you've revealed this abhorrent behavior.
What is it
Well.
called where you can't be tried for something that happened too long ago?
Dumb?
It's like an actual term.
I know,
for it.
I think it's dumb. That's how all those Catholic priests got off.
Like,
No, it's like within reason, like
statute of
limitations.
statute of limitations.
But that's not what it's called. There's a statute of limitations that says there are limits to things that you can do on crimes. That's something in the statute of limitations. A limitation.
Well, if you wanted to know why I was there at Lowgate Cemetery, that's the reason. But I never expected it to end the way it did. That I regret to this day.
Well, felonies or offenses punishable by imprisonment have a statute of limitations years. Well, hold on.
Okay.
If you go 3 years without getting caught, they can't charge you for it?
I think each like crime has a different. Like, I don't think murder has statute of limitations.
Yeah.
Can't murder and convince it after 3 years. Anyway, I'll
Federal crimes have a 10-year statute of limitation.
I think it depends on the crime, yeah.
Bank fraud, mail fraud, wire fraud, embezzling.
So I think like jail, when it says jail, it's like literally the smallest, like the smallest thing you can do to get into jail. What it means. There's a lot smaller things you can do to go to jail, right? Than like if you were to get sent to jail for something, that's.
Oh yeah, okay. So the different classes of felonies.
The more extreme it is, the more years it takes.
Yeah.
So if you're just a really good criminal, I guess, and then you commit money embezzling, get away for 10 years, I guess, you're in the clear.
Aging out of crime.
This article, you mean, published in the Daily Circus.
Yes, somebody informed the dean that it was my name that appeared in the article.
Oh wait, and carelessly let slip that night after night. I was digging up graves. Hardly a model student, you might say.
The university's reputation was execrably defiled, and I was expelled as a result. Oh dear.
No, I idea! I had no idea!
And having been run out of a university, you found employment in a somewhat specialist trade.
Find your knowledge of science with the knowledge of stage magic to create various experimental machines intended to demonstrate never-before-seen technology. Oh, and I missed that. And use those deceptive machines to trick the government and private investors into giving you money. Professor Albert Harebrain was just your latest victim, wasn't he? What are you looking at?
Whatever
The oldest
are
man
you
who ever
talking
committed a
about?
crime.
Whatever are you
He was
talking
born in
about?
Utah.
Wow, of course.
Viva Leroy Nash.
Go Utah! Woo!
Viva Leroy.
The oldest person to commit a crime. Okay, whatever.
You out.
Like the.
Now, look, I had my phone sheathed the whole episode. The second I take it out, boom, it railed.
I have no recollection of doing anything of the sort.
What's Trevor up to? Why would he still? Okay, yeah, we.
Wait, are you sure that we skipped that?
Yeah, because it was just the end of conversation. Okay, I don't know what we're supposed to present.
Just start presenting random crap. Oh, I think it's so funny how you're like pretending that you don't know what. We all know you looked it up beforehand. You're trying to throw us off right now. You know?
Yep. Give you guys a chance, you know.
Like, oh no, I gotta make sure they don't know.
Wait, I was visited. Student, wait, go back. One. Back one. Never actually. Witnessed that.
Aren't those both like?
Was based, maybe this one
What to present?
was based on what I witnessed, not necessarily what he told.
Well, I still don't know what I present.
What
I
if
wish I
it-
don't need to present something, press something a second time. Skip through this real quick.
the way he moves so fast.
Hey.
Look it up.
Oops, that's not what I meant to press. Not again. Oh my gosh. So we already presented the camera here, right? I believe it's here.
Oh, we
I don't
did
know.
present the camera?
I don't know.
Yeah, we presented the camera. I don't know which statement it was. I think it was this one.
Fun.
Yeah, this is where we
Yeah,
presented
right
the
here.
camera
Yeah,
last
yeah,
time.
yeah.
So it's not that.
Do this one.
It was based
Present
on
the
what
camera.
I witnessed that night.
Present the camera. Present the camera that I got.
Okay.
Present the camera that I got.
I don't know if I'm, based on last episode, if I'm supposed to trust anyone's
Yeah,
intuition,
I
it should be
don't know.
Ivana's.
Okay.
Doesn't make any sense.
Ivana, what do you think? You
I'm-
were nailing it
I have
last
to go a little bit
episode.
slower. I know. What I witnessed that night. I feel like.
You present the newspaper there.
Well, I mean, he's already talking about that.
What if you present the newspaper at the other one? You present this newspaper at the one where I never saw the
What's
professor.
the thing next to it? That thing.
This
Yeah.
is Trevor's contract between Asman and Trevor.
Gotcha.
That was getting money.
Well, I'm telling you on the previous
And the other stuff
thing,
is all,
present the
like-
news-
What previous? Old one?
Oh, that one. Oh, this
Sorry.
one.
What is the newspaper here?
The newspaper.
Okay. Oh, you want to do the news?
Sure.
Objection!
Oh, he nailed it.
Oh, shiz.
Sorry, Mr. Trevor, but I don't believe that.
Don't believe what?
Your latest claim, you did see the professor on that night 10 years ago.
Oh dear, we seem to be at odds. But I was there, and you were not. I know what I didn't see.
How'd you know to present that there, Matt? Happen to look something up?
Well,
I know you're on your phone.
No. I literally looked at it and I went, okay. We presented the camera because the idea is like, oh, maybe you took a picture of the professor. I was like, okay, he obviously saw him in the presentation,
Yeah.
so I'm like, okay, well, present it there. Maybe that's what it wants you to do.
The illustration with this article is drawn based upon what you told the journalist that you witnessed.
Like I would have done either here or in the next one where he says like, it was based on what I drew. I would have presented it there or here.
Actually, it makes sense, yeah, because previously he says the things is based on what I witnessed.
He goes, well, actually, I didn't see anything. I'm like, wait, don't you just, like, he's contradicting
A figure
himself.
emerging from a tomb wearing an iron mask?
It's Iron Man.
Yes, when the killer was tried 10 years ago, it was decided in the closed court's ruling that the man would wear the mask to hide his identity. It wasn't to be removed even during his execution and subsequent burial.
And how did she
That's a
take
great
Not
question.
even the prison wardens were to see the man's face. But obviously, the provision of this mask was not public knowledge. Look, I'm running low.
So, Mr. Dribber, as you just heard, a lowly student of the University of London certainly wouldn't have known about that about the condemned condemned man's mask.
The
unless you
condemned
had
man-
actually
I'm
seen
sorry.
the professor that night.
Oh, shoot.
It's inconceivable that the artist would have included that mask in the illustration. Who am I pointing at? Why am I not pointing at Dribber?
They all have, like, long hair.
Oh, Mr. Trevor!
Oh, she's a hero.
Trevor!
You have caught me in a lie.
It's a vile scene, isn't it? If you look closely. And as I've already been at pains to point out, I was utterly petrified. Which is why I had it in my head that I'd seen such a blood-curdling sight. But afterwards, I came to my senses and realized that I'd been mistaken.
You're still saying you didn't see it?
If you're stubbornly sticking to that story, witness, then amend your testimony to explain exactly how you think your eyes deceived you.
Of course, only too happy to oblige.
I can't believe he's still not gonna concede the point. A fellow grave robber at work? This is where I present the camera, right? Or should I press this?
Objection!
I should have pressed it.
You're on.
Wait,
Press it,
what
press
else
it,
does he
press it.
say that we can press?
Alright, I literally asked, man.
What are the next ones? What else
This is not
does he
next
say?
one. This is all the same stuff.
Hold it!
A fellow grave robber? What are you talking about?
Well, I wasn't the only one busy in the cemetery. You know, other body snatchers were at work. Of course, when I saw one emerging, well, he dug my heart very nearly stopped. So that's the terrifying sight I actually saw, you see.
You're claiming it was just another student on equally insalubrious business as yourself.
Many of the medical students would wear metal masks to protect them from bacteria during dissection. Clearly, the fellow was using such a mask to protect his anonymity. Wouldn't you say?
Objection, but there's more to the story, isn't there? The article goes on to say, the next second,
Yeah.
a gunshot rang out suddenly from behind. The bullet pierced the resurrected man's chest, whose breath then stilled once more.
We
Oh, here
might
we go.
assume that the sexton discovered the miscreants at work perhaps and fired upon one of them.
But Gravedigger had shot someone in the cemetery. I think it might have been rather big news, my lord.
Ah, yes, well,
I can only assume it was an embellishment bolted on later.
Excuse me!
Excuse me. Madam Two Spells, don't take it out on Mr. Sholmes.
Oh, it's Mr. Sholmes.
Oh my
You didn't
gosh,
realize
yeah.
that?
I didn't.
Wait, you actually guys didn't realize
I didn't.
Oh, she's making a wax work of Sholmes, so he doesn't
Yeah.
have to stand around.
That's why I was like, comment was, oh, she's actually. Okay, never mind.
I was. Wait, no, what was your joke?
No, I just commented on it earlier, was all.
Oh,
I didn't.
Oh. Lost in your thoughts, I see.
I was lost in my thoughts.
Would it be fair to say that
That
Mr.
applies to
Trevor's
both.
last remark was significant to you in some way?
I thought it was a little strange, that is all. And Monsieur Trevor claims it's not.
If you don't mind me
Oh, that
saying,
voice
madame,
sucks.
what are you talking about?
Well, when I met you 10 years ago, I was University the dormitory. You recounted to me about your adventures in the cemetery, no? Including the gunshot.
Stop! You might want to watch your tongue, you know.
I can't believe you're just lying in front of someone else you told the story in front of.
Nah, I make sure that off. Never.
Have a care, Drummer. That's no way to speak to a lady.
Please, Madam Two Spells, carry on.
Of course. According to what Monsieur André told me as a time, and the hair was shot from behind him. As a polity could not condemn the man.
I said nothing of the sort.
No, you were very explicit about the details. About the masks that the figure was wearing. And the blood that splattered over you when he was shot.
Now, this is where I present the camera.
Enough! Shut up, woman! You're making all this up.
That will do, Mr. Trevor!
Yes.
You refute the account just given by Madam Two Spells.
I have no recollection of ever saying those things.
Come on, do you really expect us to believe you?
Control yourself, Counsel. I will not permit baseless accusations in my courtroom.
Right.
Under the circumstances, I think it best that you supplement your testimony with a statement to clarify your position on this witness.
Very well.
Excuse me.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, what a
Right
whole
into
sequence
the
of events.
mic.
I'm sorry, I was drowning.
My wife, everyone. I love her.
There we go.
I am
There we go,
presenting
do the
here.
camera, boom.
Mr. Trevor, do you remember this camera?
What? That is a camera from the Faithful Knight.
Yes, we borrowed it from the House of Horrors. It's the camera you took with you to the cemetery that night, Mr. Trevor.
And is that supposed to mean significant?
This kind of camera is rarely seen in our homeland, so my colleague and I were keen to examine it closely. We noticed that the lens extends forwards on the end of some bellows. Like this.
Hold it!
Hold it!
What's that there just on the bellows? It looks like a dark red stain.
It looks like...
It's
Why?
stained!
That's right, it's a rather conspicuous mark here on the bellows, in fact.
Goodness!
Gracious.
Are you suggesting?
Yes, my lord, it would appear to be a splatter of blood.
Something that could be confirmed with a simple chemical test. Isn't that right, Dr. Scythe? It would be difficult to determine if it was human blood and not the blood of some animal. But yes, test whether or not it's blood at all. Simple enough.
I propose that Madame Two Spells' testimony was correct, and that on the night in question 10 years ago, we were splattered with blood from the gunshot wounds.
Spattered.
Spattered?
It's spattered. Well,
I'll be. And that, furthermore, you really did witness the condemned professor emerging from his tomb.
Ah! The way it's like his neck breaks.
There's simply no way you could have forgotten such a traumatic experience. In other words, the only explanation is that you're trying to hide the fact that you saw the professor that night.
Objection!
But why? Why would he want to do that?
Well, not for his own gain, it would seem.
For whose then? Something about
could
something.
benefit?
Who could benefit?
Mr. Drebber is obviously lying in order to protect somebody.
My goodness, he's shielding someone! Vanguard, stand!
Yes, my lord, and clearly. It's
Blocking with
someone
my
who-
1500!
It's someone who doesn't want the truth about the professor coming
Perfect
back
guard!
to life to be exposed.
Well, Counsel, who is it then? Who is the witness trial of Brackenstock?
Nailed it. Nailed it.
He has dementia.
The obvious
has
answer
Alzheimer's.
is Dr. Scythe.
Scythe.
Whatever do you mean?
Imagine if the convict who had been sentenced to death was not in fact killed. Imagine if that was to come to light.
What are you
Insinuating.
insinuating?
And imagine if the convict in question was the country's most hated mass murderer. If it was the professor.
That would be an unprecedented scandal!
This is beyond a joke. Need I point out that the deed cannot come back to life? The dead
deed
cannot.
can't come back.
The deed. What you're suggesting would mean that the execution never actually happened.
Yes, that's exactly what it would mean.
Objection!
Once a man is sent to the gallows, he hangs. No one could escape. Not in Great Britain.
Objection! But the fact is, there was a witness to the fact that the man did escape his hanging.
If that were really true, Counsel, the implications of misconduct would not stop at the supervising coroner. It would taint the honor of the entire judiciary from the ground up.
And it's exactly because of those monumental repercussions that Dr. Scythe would consent to any demand made of her by someone who threatened to expose the secret, even if that meant being complicit in a crime.
You mean...
I mean that Dr. Scythe wasn't collaborating in Mr. Drebber's wicked scheme. She was coerced into collaborating in order to protect her decade-old secret. She switched the dead body of Mr. Assman with the waxwork model and fabricated the autopsy report.
Holy shit!
Oh
I
my!
feel like it's been a while since we've seen this.
Oh my!
Lord Van Zeeks!
Pray
It's gonna
forgive
show
my
off my
freshly
sexy
filled
leg.
hallowed chalice and a whole raft of other discourtesies now.
Goodness me!
It's just the sort of tall tale Londoners would enjoy, I grant you. An executed killer rising from the dead, a Scotland Yard cover-up, a conspiracy at the highest levels. So let me ask you one thing.
What's that?
If the condemned man really did emerge from his tomb that night only to be shot in the chest, who pulled the trigger and disposed of him forever?
Oh, well, I have no idea at the moment.
It was you.
Ah!
We have too little information to work that out at present, I think.
I couldn't agree more.
Fetch. The Old Bailey is no place for wild fantasies. And have you considered this, my learned Nipponese friend?
Considered what?
Do you realize just what a dangerous endeavor it would be to
Oh, wait, that's
coerce this
Van
woman?
Zeeks.
Do you realize just what a dangerous endeavor it would be to coerce this woman into such criminal activity? It's tantamount to declaring war on the entire British police force and judiciary.
Quite hard to imagine any sum of money being offered for research could warrant it.
To rely on some stage deception when so much is at stake would be madness. Well,
No.
I suppose.
This is...
And this was
Sparta!
no petty crime either. The victim was murdered. A man who'd already invested money in the venture and would be instrumental in future profits too.
Yes, I had no reason to kill Mr. Asman. Oh, are you forgetting his death results in me receiving notice?
Hey, let me read this contract real quick. Blah blah blah. Mr. Drebber receives 30% of all remunerations. Okay, and Mr. Drebber may only uphold this on both contracting parties are alive.
Court is already aware of the contract between myself and the...
there is a contract, that's very true.
Every customer at
The motive for this case runs deep though. I feel it.
Using threats to force the head of the forensic investigation cooperate is... Especially for a government grant, it had no guarantee.
If the research grant was the aim, taking Mr. Assman's life would not have made no sense anyway. Means, Mr. Drebber's motive wasn't money at all. He was just trying to kill Mr. Assman. But why? What was his motive then?
Your time is up, my learned friend. I'd say you have wait a minute. I just realized something.
Okay.
He's racist.
Yeah,
And
we knew
yet
that.
he chose his sidekick to be none other than a Nipponese who had forgotten everything.
Maybe he's
Not
never seen
only
the-
worthless by his race, but worthless in his mind as
What if
well.
what if he's never seen him without the mask?
He, slave,
Okay, man. What if he's never seen him without the mask and hood, you know?
Thomas, if you were wearing a mask, I could tell that well...
How would you tell?
And then maybe he lost any sense, any like
Well,
sort of...
Thomas clearly isn't white. I wouldn't look at him like, oh, you're white.
But you're wearing a
He also
hood
looked
and
tan.
mask, you know? You never know.
But also, he just looks tan.
And then like any sort of accent he might have had, gone from amnesia. Maybe,
No,
maybe he sounds
no.
completely English. Maybe he just has completely Londoner accents.
No.
Cosmo's just rolling around.
Yeah, wait, he also wouldn't know English.
He just remembers he learned
I'm
it.
sorry.
He learned English, you know, it's just in the recesses of his mind.
But it would have sounded like this.
That's what I'm saying, he forgot it all.
What do you mean, he forgot all his English?
I don't know, man.
Or all of his Japanese?
All his-
he
all his
forgot his
accents.
race. You know the girl
All the
that like.
there's no, you
You
can't
You know the
forget
girl
an
that like
accent.
accent.
hit her head or had a stroke or something, and then like woke up and she had like an Irish accent.
No, Sean. Did someone have a stroke?
I think it's like fake,
No
but
way.
it's legit. You're like.
It's fake,
It's fake,
but
but
it's
No, no, no.
legit.
I mean, like,
Here,
it's a
hold on,
legit,
hold on.
like,
That
thing
is
on
the best.
YouTube.
Clip it. It's fake, but it's
Woman-
legit. That's amazing. Truer words have never been spoken.
Has an called accent after surgery.
If you had the chance to change your
Texas
accent,
mom
would
with
ya?
British accent after surgery isn't the first to have rare syndrome.
no, sure.
Why these women wake up
accents.
with a foreign accent?
No.
Woke up
No.
sounding Chinese.
No, what does that
And it's,
mean?
what is...
That's just, she's racist and it brought her racism
we're not gonna
out.
play out the entire video, but it's I don't know how much you're not doing too much research, but I just looked at what is foreign accent syndrome. In extremely rare cases, head injuries and psychological trauma affect victims in a highly unusual way. Individuals begin to ads no.
They begin to spew out an accent. Okay, hold on. Imagine this. A story around like someone like me. I get in an accident, and I come back talking like this. And then everyone gets super offended by me, and I'm like, this is how I'm speaking! And they're all like, you're being offensive, dude. No, I don't know what you're saying. I get canceled, and it'd be so funny. That's a great show idea. That's so amazing.
Alright.
Or no, Jamaican accent, right? Jamon! You can't, what are you doing? What do you mean?
Come on.
Have to produce a show, man. Mom?
We jamming.
Let's see if you can back.
I don't know, but that's weird that he would do that, okay? I'm sorry, I didn't finish
this
reading.
game-
Wait,
Game's
where
weird.
did his? Wait,
Yeah, I
did his
don't
guy
know.
have to move?
I don't know.
Wait, watch this. Guy has to move out of the way.
Yeah, look at that. He's even thrown at him. He knows that he's not.
Watch. Wait.
How far behind?
No, that's gonna be a bit far behind. Just read this for now.
I'd say you have one last chance before the jury lose
No,
their
not that.
patience with the charade. I never read that.
Oh.
Let's see if you can back up your heady proposal,
I actually
shall
don't know
we?
how to pronounce that. Okay, here we go.
Right here.
No. We're watching it,
Has to
everyone.
move out of the way, I think.
Or is this where we go on our rant?
For our viewer, yeah, it might kind of be. And for our
No,
viewers at home, you
no.
can just scroll back and see what happens. But we were very curious about this.
For the
'cause-
viewers at home.
Oh yeah, no, you can literally see him leaning back.
Yeah, right there. Look, he did have to move out of the way.
I just want to like see it happen.
I'll give it a couple of minutes. Oh my.
That's exciting, isn't it? Sitting here waiting.
Hello, new viewers. We're watching the.
There we go.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, he did. Yeah,
sorry.
he has to move. That's funny. How do you explain why this engineer would throw all caution to the wind and threaten his own country?
He's not from this country.
And why would
At
you
this
throw
point,
your
I'm not
chalice and
prepared to
threaten
listen
the
to
death
any more of this
your
outlandish
assistant?
conjecture without proof. So, counsel, present your evidence.
All right, who exactly was Mr. Assman to Trevor? There's a connection that there's. Oh, it's just the newspaper. And I'm going to have to present 2 pieces of evidence to show what it is. Huh? 2? 2? I have 1. Yes, my lord. Explain why the wind. Okay, well, I'll do this one first.
Oh, no. Wait. Oh, no.
I mean, this is one of the evidences.
Oh,
It's
you
this
sure about
newspaper
that?
article, my lord.
Okay, that was written 10 years ago, and every detail has been examined already. What can it possibly tell us?
That drivel should never have been written. It's typical gutter press. Nonsense that means nothing.
Yes, on its own, it isn't particularly significant. However, when considered alongside another piece of
Oh, it
evidence.
says, oh, ass man.
It will completely explain your motive for wanting Mr. Assman dead.
What other evidence?
Council, you will present your supplementary. Oh, goodness gracious, it says, "Oh, ass man!"
Why can't they just all see that? It's like the biggest text on the page.
Maybe they can't read cursive, man.
I cannot read cursive.
Man.
Wait, what am I supposed to present?
Wait.
The news.
What? I present this?
No,
No, that wouldn't make sense.
Wait a minute. Oh,
So hold on.
hold
Which
on.
one for the deed?
Whoa,
What's this one?
whoa, hey, whoa, whoa.
What's the metal thing? A
What?
for
What?
Assman.
What?
This is the screwdriver. It's hairbrains. Are you okay there? I actually don't know what I'm supposed to present here. When cross-reference with the news article establishes a motive for the motive.
Hold on now.
So again, go to
Wait,
the
present-
contract.
Present the head. I don't know.
The head.
I don't know.
Wait, go. What's the trophy?
It's just Drever's trophy that he was smart back in the
Go
day.
back to it though. Like click on it. Okay.
Nothing we haven't examined
Nothing.
before.
No, no,
Just
but what does it
smart.
say on the top?
That's it.
It would have, if anything that's important would have been appended to the here.
All right. What's? Yeah, I guess. What about the head? Probably
No,
not.
Head.
Have we already examined it?
Examined.
no, there
Are we
was something
sure?
to
There's
examine.
gotta be something.
It literally popped up. It literally popped up.
The lock.
Oh, that's right. Go back to the agreement thing. Or back.
Oh, that one to prove that it's his signature.
I smart. I'm very smart.
Alright, man. You don't have amnesia right now. You can't pull this off yet.
What? I'm allowed to do accents. We've already established in previous episodes that accents are not racist.
It's this
Sounds
contract, my
great.
lord.
Okay, just don't get me canceled with you. Okay.
Just do as many accents as you want on your own channel. Mr. Drever,
Alright.
this is the contract you signed with Mr.
I'm
Assman.
banned. Officially
Wait,
banned.
don't we do this channel to do accents?
Yeah, literally, honestly.
Yes, that's right. Exactly, see? I'm right. The very document, in fact. That proves I had no reason to kill the man.
No, I'm afraid not.
What?
There's something very significant about that this newspaper article and the contract have in common.
Really?
And it's that common link that shows very clearly why you're determined to kill Mr. Odie Assman.
It seems the defense has uncovered something the rest of us have missed. So, my learned friend, point out what these two pieces of evidence have in common. Where exactly is the link?
Take that! Take that! What these two pieces of evidence have in common is a signature.
Signature!
The signature on the illustration that accompanies the 10-year-old article and the signature on the contract belong to the same person.
What?
As the court has... Judge, do you need to go to the bathroom for a minute? This illustration was drawn 10 years ago by the newspaper reporter who found Mr. Drever and interviewed him about his ordeal.
25 years old and fart jokes.
If you look closely, the reporter's signature can be seen in the bottom right corner of the drawing. And if you look at the contract here, which was signed between the witness and the victim last year, you can clearly see Mr. Assman's signature at the bottom.
Let me see now!
They just have to have
Goodness,
its
yes,
two
they're
signatures and it has to like
identical!
align perfectly.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. That would have been dope.
In short, the journalist who drew the illustration and wrote the article published about Mr. Drever 10 years ago was the victim of this case, Mr. Odie Assman.
Oh, he's defeated for sure.
Objection! Objection!
But explain to the court.
Why? Why? Why would that constitute a motive for the witness to murder Assman?
Well, if you think back, you'll remember that Mr. Drever talked about that article in his testimony. Yeah, we've read all this. If you all forgot about this already, go back and view the stream again. It's there for you to see. At the time, you were a student of the University of London who dreamt of becoming a scientist. However, this single newspaper article changed your entire life.
Oh, Mr. Assman used to be a newspaper journalist, did he?
He did, my lord. In fact, it's a widely held belief that Assman managed to position himself at the heart of the criminals' network, thanks to the many dubious connections he made during his time as a reporter. Wow.
So you had to give up on your dream.
I love how he sat on that fact and then he comes out and he's like, oh yeah, this is just public knowledge. I knew that the whole time. It's like, then why didn't you bring it up?
Where's the connection? I don't see the connect. Oh yeah, that connection. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Everyone knows about that.
Are you kidding me, dude?
He's the prosecutor, man. He doesn't have to show his hand until he has to show it, you know?
I guess so.
So you had to give up on your dream.
But
and
it's
leave
his
the university.
it's his
You
best
lost
friend.
everything. He doesn't care about his best friend.
I guess not.
Obviously, it's a one-way relationship, you know, one-sided. only
Wait,
Hairbrain
Osman or
views.
Drebber? I forget. It's
what?
his best friend.
No, for Hairbrain and Van Zeeks.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Only Hairbrain views Van Zeeks as his best friend.
Yeah, honestly, I could believe that.
Eventually, you find yourself working in the field of science, but only in the shadows, and all because of that article written by Mr. Assman.
Enough! Stop this endless drivel about my life.
This is clearly just demonstrating the state of my butthole, you know?
Yes.
What?
Sorry, Thomas just
What?
holds it the whole stream, and then he slowly, you look over and it just clenched.
Alright, guys, here we go.
Oh my gosh.
Explain yourself, Mr. Drebber!
Yes, it's true. I had to leave the university as a result of that article.
Alright, what are you
But he
doing with
was
this?
just
This is
a
look at where I see
straw
Thomas doing this. This is
that
from my point of view.
broke the camel's back.
He's sticking it between his cheeks to clench it.
That would be...
That would be a good booty exercise.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Almost every student of science in the faculty was too poor to actually conduct research. They struggled on with their hypotheses anyway. We all did, only to have them taken by vultures. Sooner or later, you knew your ideas would be stolen and patented by some wretch or other after all.
Good gracious!
Making a name for yourself as a scientist in a climate like that was a miracle only a select few geniuses could ever hope to achieve. Personally, I wasn't one of those geniuses, so it was hardly a wrench. Being forced out of the university because of Lowgate was the best thing that could have happened to me.
Objection! Mr. Drebber, do you genuinely believe that?
Of course I do. Who's better placed to know whether or not I possess a talent for science than me?
I'm sorry to say that your words don't ring true at all.
How dare you!
And I have evidence to prove it. I think I present the trophy here. Yep.
How are you in the position to say anything about me? I don't know you from Adam.
What? Like Adam and Eve?
Probably. Fine, if you think you have evidence, come on, show it.
I don't know you from Adam. Well, I know you from Eve. Bro.
What could you possibly have to disprove the idea that I was happy to leave university because I lacked talent?
Take that! Do you remember this, Mr. Drebber? I found it at your workshop.
Is that a Royal Society trophy for excellence in science?
I always dreamed about having one of those.
I know, it's so specific.
I know.
What exactly
that
is
something
this
that-
trophy, Council?
It's the greatest honor that can be bestowed on a young scientist, my lord.
There is no higher accolade. It recognizes emerging talent
And promises a bright future. Good gracious!
That's all the judge ever said. Good gracious!
You know, Van Zeeks
Oh
is,
my
Good
god!
gracious!
you know Van Zeeks is so well versed because he dreamed about getting that as a young scientist himself.
Yeah, we're about to learn about the whole where he turned to evil arc.
Your prospects for the future
Yeah.
were excellent.
Yo,
weren't you?
because they went to
Weren't
school. Okay, hold on. He knows Hairbrain from school. Hairbrain's a scientist. Van Zeeks wanted to be a scientist. Oh my gosh, the pieces are just.
And then Hairbrain
my-
got the trophy instead, so Xanathix hates him.
It writes itself, dude. Oh my gosh.
Because even then, you were a genius in your field. But you lost everything. You had no more future. Your talents would go to waste.
Wow, jeez.
All as a result of this one newspaper article.
Merde.
I don't know when you realized who Mr. Assman was, but when it dawned on you that he was the same journalist who 10 years ago ruined your life, it's abundantly clear that you had no intention of forgiving the man.
Wow.
The truth is.
Finally, he's going to fold.
No, he's not.
It's true.
Gotta be gears coming out.
Yeah, he's gonna have like 4 arms.
Yeah.
He'll turn to a spider.
Uh-oh.
Ah. Fine. Clearly, this has run its course now. What? I admit it. All of it.
What?
What are you doing?
It's exactly as the Japanese man said. I was coerced into going along with this man's plot to murder the victim, on the condition that he kept my dirty secret from 10 years ago.
Oh. No.
Goodness gracious!
Dr. Scythe, do you realize what you're saying, woman?
Whoa, sexism. I told you who's sexist, and you were like, he's never been sexist, he's never been racist. He's done that before.
No, he hasn't. I still stand by my statement that he hasn't been sexist at that point.
It's all true. That day,
Honestly, that's not even that sexist.
Honestly.
Depending on the time frame, that's actually a compliment. The only reason I know that is because there's this book called Jesus the Christ. Jesus says, "Woman, behold thy sons."
You could have got a compliment.
No, because so then they're like, okay, that sounds weird. And if you look at it biblically, like in that time frame, the term "woman" when written like that is a term of intent.
Okay.
Anyways, so it's just weird because it sounds weird in modern day usage, but also probably in your Bible it doesn't even say that. So you're like, what are you talking about? Sorry, I'm all about KJV.
Okay.
Dost thou protest about KJV? Art thou saved? I think not, KJV.
when I arrived at the Crystal Tower and saw the birdcage,
I have a dream. MLK.
It's some dumb video. It's like people who only read the King James version of the Bible.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
I
like,
see.
What doth thou protest?
like what? The other versions of the Bible are cool too, dude.
I think not. Thou art.
Oh, no. Sorry, okay? Let's finish the stupid thing. Thomas clearly has somewhere to be.
my heart nearly stopped beating. That memory from a decade ago. I had done my best to bury deep inside myself. It was the professor again, staring me in the face. Then, before I had a chance to react, I noticed something else.
That
was a
literally just
note.
materialize.
Tucked inside the model's jacket.
Convenient.
That's Drebber.
Dr. Scythe, you will go along with my plan from someone who knows the truth about what happened that night 10 years ago.
She shot him. Very secret.
I still think it has.
That makes sense, right? All
think
the
it's Van
instructions
Zieks.
were there in the roll note. Wait, what?
I think it's Van Zieks. Because that dude didn't get justice, and then Van Zieks is all about people who don't get justice. They get justice for the Bailey. That's when he became the Reaper. That's when he became the Reaper, boy!
But the whole point is that he's not the Reaper, is what I think the idea is. The whole point is like
Every
someone else
demon-
is actually like going around killing people, right?
Oh, maybe, and then we're about to find out who it is. Because he's the dude who killed him.
Anyway, let's find out.
Every detail was
Whoa.
meticulously written out. I had no choice but to do what it said. I made the necessary alterations and fabricated the autopsy report as instructed. There was really no other choice. It had to be done to protect the
I did it for my country.
The real question is why was the first time?
I can only apologize now.
What happened? What happened with the professor in the first place?
He buried him alive. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. It's Ace Attorney. What do you?
I want everything to be explained perfectly with no loose ends.
Yeah, they over-explain the crap that doesn't matter, and then like these cool things, like, oh yeah, no, it just makes sense.
Why on earth would you buckle now? Well, there's no point trying to hide it anymore, is there? Would have done anything to stop it coming out, even collaborated murder. The great lie about that execution 10 years ago. Whatever happens, I'm fit.
So then, Mr. Dribber, what do you say to that? Your accomplice has admitted everything.
Surely it goes without saying.
You admit your part in it too, then? No!
I admit nothing at all.
What?
Have you forgotten that the Kinesis mission was ripped to shreds by an explosion?
Short of me admitting to a crime, there's really no possible way for you to do anything wrong.
Ugh, yeah, you haven't had your breakdown yet.
You
No!
just send in the photo of the trap door going down.
Very
Order,
spirit-presented man.
order.
Whatever this man says, I admit everything. He threatened to expose my secrets along with his wife. Lord Van Zee.
Yes.
I hope you'll accept my apology. What happens next is in your hands, of course.
Because he's the Reaper.
I have had more than enough now. I hereby present the final findings of this court. This trial is not the proper form in which to pursue the alleged wrongdoings of Mr. Drebber. The defendant is Professor Albert Hairbrain.
No shot. Very true. It had slipped my mind.
You're just saying that all this is technically isn't related.
Oh, yeah.
And he one of your closest friends?
Wait, pause.
Ah,
Did they, like, already vote and say that he's not guilty?
No?
Like, not even.
That's from when we
That's
did
from the
our
summation-
summation examination.
Yeah. Convince 4 of them. Not vote. It's guilty at least.
as the court has heard, Dr. Sight has admitted to the allegations brought by the defense,
That's what I meant. Obviously, if he already declared one thing.
thereby absolving the defendant of any possible guilt.
You mean? Oh.
At the present time, it is the conclusion of this court that the defendant was not involved in any wrongdoing.
Oh, this is how this case ends?
Does the prosecution have any objection?
Oh, and then this is where Drebber dies, and then they never follow up again.
Well, this sucks.
None, my lord.
Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruto! You've
Oh.
proven Professor Hairbrain not guilty. Innocence.
Without further ado,
I love how the judge the whole time is like barely there, just saying random crap,
Literally.
super interested,
Yeah.
and then out of nowhere,
well, this has absolutely nothing to do with Jack Shiz.
No,
In
no,
this
no.
case, it's time for my bedtime. I want to watch Survivor on CBS tonight. I'm sick of this. I'm done.
No, he was just so invested. He's like, oh, this
I
is so
don't
interesting.
care about it.
And then he's like,
I'm
oh,
not
wait.
worried
about
about it. I'm done.
Sorry, what'd you say?
No, it's just like he's just so invested in like the story. He's like, oh, this is so interesting. And then he's like, wait, I have a job to do.
Yeah.
I know.
He's like, oh my gosh, good
What's
gracious. Okay, wait, this doesn't matter.
I know, right as we're about to get down to it, he's like,
Well, I don't care.
Doesn't want to live on a cliffhanger, you know?
Without further ado, then, the adjudication. Unless the prosecution or defense have any other matters to discuss.
He just wants a cliffhanger, so he's really invested the next time he comes back in, you know?
I guess
Because
so.
he said it isn't the proper like place to do this, so you know he wants to continue it in another court case.
Right. Okay, that's the way,
I don't know. This doesn't feel quite right. Why did Dr. Scythe suddenly admit to it like that?
Is everything alright, Mr. Naruhodo? No, I always have to say your name.
Like you said before, the way the trial is set to end now, the judge will certainly deliver a verdict of not guilty. But is that really what we want? Oh, we're gonna want to continue the trial, I see. What the bench for now, pushing for now is...
further testimony.
Yeah, this is what Van Deeks was saying.
Objection!
Objection! The defense objects to the trial ending at this time, my lord.
Pardon.
We demand one final testimony.
Whoa!
Goodness gracious!
You do realize that I'm about to poop my pants?
I already pooped my pants. I need to change my diaper.
I've been sitting in
Why
my
I wanted to
house
end it.
for 5 hours. I'm about to adjudicate in favor of your client, I presume.
What are you playing at now, my Nipponese friend? Why would you want to obstruct the conclusion of the trial at this point, even though I told you to pursue the truth? Why are you doing exactly as I told you?
He's gotta put on a
No
facade.
defense lawyer in his right mind would do that.
He just wants to show that we're crazy.
Mr. Naruhodo, what exactly are you thinking?
The truth.
Every single time.
The whole truth and a way to bring it all out into the open.
Right.
Yes, in hindsight. Okay, we've seen all this. Oh no, it's him that said it. It wasn't. It
Yeah,
wasn't.
exactly.
Okay, no, this makes more sense.
Yeah, I
okay,
don't know.
okay.
When I said that, I was like, wait, what?
I'm sure Mr. Sholmes knew. He must have deduced that this would happen.
How does he deduce that this would happen? How does it? What?
He's the one who kills everyone.
Oh, maybe it was Sholmes who shot him.
He's the one that goes around killing everyone.
Whoa. Whoa.
Sholmes is the real.
Whoa.
Yes, I'm here in court to advocate for my client and to secure an acquittal.
Obviously.
But that's not all. I believe that I have the duty to, I didn't read any of those things. To the court to pursue the whole truth of the case until I still didn't finish reading, until every last detail is laid bare. You wouldn't imagine I'm the one with the controller here. And that is why the defense calls for further testimony from Dr. Scythe.
Testimony from me? About what?
About the nature of your collaboration with Mr. Enoch Drebber.
In case it's escaped your attention, I've already admitted to everything I did. All truth has already been. Stop wasting everyone's time. As his lordship made very plain, client will get the acquittal. There's simply no point protracting this further, and with another tedious cross.
Objection!
Objection! Oh,
Whoa,
that's you.
Van Seeks. Whoa, 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 whoa. Calm down, calm down. Pray forgive my careless handling of that hallowed bottle. I slipped.
That's what you call it?
What is your objection, Lord Van Seeks?
The prosecution also calls for supplementary testimony from the witness.
Don't be stupid.
Go fetch. If there is more to this case than has yet come to light, then I will join.
What?
This is the ultimate redemption arc! Then I will join my learned friend in pursuing the facts until the
the
bitter
bitter
end.
He just really wants to find Harebrained guilty. He's sick and tired of that guy calling him his best friend.
That's the coolest thing he's ever done.
Worked alongside his learned friend.
He deliberately chose, despite his own racism.
That's like. Oh gosh, that's like. I'm not actually gonna say anything, but like, that's cool.
No, you know what?
Lord
That's
Van
like
Seeks.
some white slave owner like helping Rosa Parks. That's dope. That's a great redemption arc. Oh, cool, great.
To the progress up and I'm working on it the entire stream.
This is.
This is most irregular, to say the least. However, as the prosecution also calls for it, I will uphold the request. Dr. Scythe, you will testify before the court, explaining the full extent of your involvement in the murder apparently committed by Mr. Drebber.
And this judge is done. He's sick of this case.
Very bad. Oh, like this.
Oh my gosh, it's actually continuing! Son of a...
Feel it?
You wanna end it here?
No.
Oh, I thought you were okay.
This is the last. This is the final example, like witness testimony. I'm pretty sure.
It all began at the scene when I saw the waxwork and the note tucked inside its jacket.
I go to bed.
The actual body of
Oh, I do have to wake up at 6
as
tomorrow.
indicated in the note's instructions beneath the experimentations. Body had to be arranged in a certain way, implicate, defendant, which was my job. I enlisted the help of the entire forensic investigation to dress the scene appropriately.
So they're all in.
Hey, all of them.
Taking everyone down. The truth about the execution 10 years ago is a state secret to the highest level. I had to protect it.
So I was right. The stage and the machine were all specially designed for the deception.
So it seems, and all meticulously prepared. Well, to see through it. Very shrewd, boy.
So kind of you to say.
It's kind of hot.
And what
It's
about
turning
this
me
autopsy report then? All I did was record the location of the body as being the tower instead of under the stage. That's all? That's a terrible corruption. Only my team were aware of the deceit. And then only under my explicit instructions. Nobody else at Scotland Yard knew anything about it, I assure you.
Oh, we must be thankful for small mercies, I suppose. Well, I believe that testimony has clarified everything. There's no particular need for a cross-examination, I would say.
Objection. Oh, no, not yet. No, I disagree. I can't shake the feeling that something's wrong. Just look at that expression on Dr. Seitz's face.
Yeah, she looks like weird.
It's the defense's right to cross-examine any witness following testimony.
What is about you Japanese?
Whoa, whoa,
that
whoa, whoa,
makes you all
Nipponese.
so
It's
doggedly
Nipponese, okay?
persistent.
It's Nipponese.
You know, Bad Dix is being racist for sure now, though, because clearly it's Japanese to everyone else. It's just
Oh, it's
he's
just
the only
Nipponese
one.
to him.
He's the only one going Nipponese.
Gotcha.
Why isn't it? Hold on. Why isn't it like Britanese? Britain. Or like Americanese?
That'd be so sick. Are you an American? No, I'm American.
You can't say you're Japan.
No, it's Japanese.
No, I know, but you can't say you're
What does that have to do with anything?
or Japanican.
Americanese, I guess is what it would be.
Japanican
Oh my, I get what you're doing. Japanican?
or a Japench.
Japan?
Like from France.
No, people. Oh yeah.
American or like European.
Hey,
Europe?
European.
Japan.
Japan. Oh, that's what you're saying.
Japanean?
Japanean. That would also be cool. Japanese. Bro, the Japanese invaded. That'd be cool.
Is it really though?
I wonder what's the plural of that in their own language. Because that's just English, right?
Yeah.
We just gave her one of those terms.
Yeah.
Why didn't we give him the term Ian at the end? Like European, American.
It's not
Japanese.
American.
It's interesting because like it's not because it's
Canadian.
Asian either, because like Korean.
Whoa!
It's not Korean.
Whoa! It's
Yeah.
not Koreese.
Yeah, it's Chinese and Japanese, Vietnamese.
Korean. Who made that decision?
There's like Laotian.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I wonder like how it all came up.
Indian.
The random like conversations we have during
Japan.
this show.
That's what makes it.
Japan.
Sorry. Right? Oh, I already read this.
Japan.
Very well, if you so much pursue the cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. For now, we will refer to them as Japan.
I like it.
Japaricans.
Japaricans.
American.
Japaricans.
Wait, what?
Japaricans.
Hold it!
When you say arranged, I presume you mean with this.
Yes, the instructions in the engineer's note said something along the lines of fabricate some evidence to make it clear that Hairbrain alone could have killed Asman.
So, you mean that was your doing?
I fetched Hairbrain's ridiculous screwdriver from the stage, took it with me alone. Abyss under the stage where the birdcage had fallen.
Alone, Doctor!
Didn't feel it would be appropriate to involve anybody else in that particular part of the deception. Okay. Oh, it's showing it.
Wow, first time we've seen this scene.
Graphic.
Oh, sorry. There was a void under the stage where I found the birdcage lying in the dirt.
Stabbed him.
It's actually kind of creepy, honestly. So wait, so he died from the fall?
Yeah.
I approached it, leaned down, and slowly opened it up. Then I took the screwdriver in both hands and plunged it into the man's chest. What if he
Hey.
wasn't dead?
He is now.
Yeah.
And then you noted that in your fake autopsy report, there's a fictitious cause of death.
Exactly.
So, the actual cause of death was...
Trauma resulting from the 30-foot drop.
My word.
What is it, Mr. Sato?
Something about Dr. Side's last statement. Hang on my mind, that's...
Yes, mine too.
Kill the hoe.
Dr. Scythe.
There's really no need to shout. Hear you perfectly well.
The defense calls for you to add that to what you just said to your formal testimony.
Oh? Which part?
What I want her to supplement her testimony with.
Cause
Real
of
cause
death.
of death. The real cause of death being the fall of 30 feet. That part.
Fine, if that's what you want. Stop yelling, please.
No.
Never!
The prosecution something
Concurs.
concurs.
Very well. You will supplement your testimony now, witness. Okay, can we be done?
My eyes are so dry. If you wish, my lord.
Yes,
Just
Milo.
pour some water into your eyes. It's the same thing
Oh,
as an
yeah,
eyedropper,
that'll-
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'll
Definitely no
help so
infection can result from that.
Let's see. Or actually,
How
I
did you
should probably
drink
press
all
this
of it
first.
in one gulp?
You're quite sure of that? It was as the result of a broken neck.
Yes. As a professional, that was more than apparent. You never know just by looking at the photograph of the victim, though, would you?
No, that's very true.
Obviously not. Which is precisely why coroners are needed to determine the actual facts.
Yes, assuming they can be trusted.
There's no point calling her assessment into question without evidence. Let's get back to the testimony. He's like working with us though, kind
Very well.
of. Kind of.
Okay, so it's obviously this, unless we wanted to append the other thing. Diagram, relative positions, crossbow, parts. Autopsy reports. Broken vertebrae.
That one.
Emergible. Cause of death was the sharp thing. Wait, go back to it.
Well, yeah, I mean, but she's literally admitting to that because she wrote this. But
Okay.
I think it's still along the lines of this. But let's just look at the other evidence, just in case. Oh, not that.
It would have landed on the bottom, right? Not the top, so he wouldn't have broken anything. If anything, he would break a leg.
Exactly, that's it. I mean,
Because they
I'm also
wanted
thinking like
I think it's just the thing that says
Zero.
cause of death.
facts with everyone.
I think it's the cage.
Cage.
I think so.
I would do the autopsy.
Neck was broken in impact of a violent fall. Oh, I think this is
Because he's
right.
strapped in. He's strapped into the cage. Where would his neck break?
I'm more inclined for this.
Alright.
Oh,
Yep.
shalabash.
Alright.
I sorry. That's an Americanese mistake.
Better save.
I already saved.
I mean, save again so we don't have to go through everything.
Not like I already saved.
Right, then do autopsy report.
Objection!
Nope.
Oh, alabash.
Save, hurry, save.
No,
If you save here, we're done for.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the
never mind.
worst place to save.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, you're right.
Hey, maybe it was the other thing we wanted to add.
Oh, yeah.
Hold it!
I'm gonna try seeing what the other statement is real quick.
Did we not do this already?
No, we did. But
I
I'm
mean,
asking you to change her statement. What she's appending to her testimony.
Oh, yeah.
This is very long, though.
Whatever.
I should just save here. Save here. Uh-oh. Okay. Let's have her change it, see what happens. Dr. Scythe, what you said before about what you did to the victim's body, I believe may be significant, so could you change your supplementary statement to that to explain that instead?
Very well. Where was the screwdriver found again?
Hard, but by sharp in. Screwdriver was found on like the stage, I think. Or no, it was found at the murder scene. I think it's found at the Crystal Tower. Yeah. I don't know.
Because we already presented that, like during the
Yeah, but that doesn't mean we can't.
showing that it
Yeah.
didn't go bad.
But
If anything, you could have broken the page.
Discovery test.
Maybe now do the autopsy report.
Okay.
Objection!
Nope. I don't know.
In the cage.
Okay.
This one with the autopsy.
I just did that with the autopsy.
Objection!
Did?
Yeah.
No, I thought you just
Load again.
thought it was.
No.
Check the other pictures. Other pictures. Like these? This? There's no way it's this.
Wait, go back to that. Maybe there is some.
There's no way we're supposed to see details this small.
That's true, but I just want to see the.
I'm sorry. Again. The hair brain squatting.
Hi.
And yeah, no, can't. I don't think it's any of the other pictures.
There was a watch.
Watch.
Yeah. No, I mean like in that picture we just were looking at.
I don't think that matters. So is
Um,
it cause
what
of
about
death,
what
or is
about
it
this?
How she stabbed him?
thing? No, that just was.
Cause of death or stabbed?
Are you sure you did the autopsy report with that statement?
I can do it again, but yes.
I don't know.
Okay, prevent autopsy report.
Objection!
Right.
Hold it!
Doug, I haven't been following the case.
So it was you who stabbed Assman with this.
Yes, far easier than this section, I assure you. No precision required.
What a welcome change.
Victim died instantly from snapped neck. All I did was carry out the instructions. Did you say anything about like when she?
No.
As unflinching as ever, no doubt. I imagine you didn't bat an eyelid when you drove the weapon into his body.
Dang, Savage, she's calling yours the cold-blooded killer.
There was no need to bat my eyelids.
That is all new.
And what else did you do to twist the facts? Remind the court, why don't you?
You wish. So. Probably.
Literally just
Okay.
these two.
Go on.
I can't get us out of this one.
What's the camera from? Is it the bloodstain was to do with the Waxwork Professor? How about how Drebber saw the actual professor getting shot from the grave and was covered in blood?
Yeah, I guess the class was. Oh, maybe.
The waxwork?
Oh.
There's glass there.
Oh, this is Waxwork. I think.
Why is there glass?
Because they moved. This is when they moved the body to the glass
That's right.
tower.
I'm at a complete loss.
Objection!
What did
You.
you present?
The picture of him dead.
Him dead?
I've got a nasty feeling. I honestly have no idea. But this inconsistency points to an extremely uncomfortable truth.
Well, none of this will matter, Council. Have you lost your tongue?
I
So
just
you
thought
just-
about relevant pieces of evidence, and this is the only other thing that came up. It was like this, the screwdriver, and that's it. I apologize, my lord. Dr. Scythe, in that last statement of yours, there's just one point that seems to defy explanation.
Out with it, my learned friend.
There's an obvious inconsistency between your description and this photograph.
Plunged into chest.
That's his chest, which shows the victim in the birdcage following the events that led to his death.
The court has already examined that photograph in depth. There's nothing new we can learn from it. Oh, calm down.
Objection! Yes, we have already considered it, that's true. But we now know the facts to be different.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Oh, that she stabbed him and then removed.
I believe we should let the defense explain.
Huh?
Oh, F no, you better save right
Huh?
now. Sure, you might have guessed it, but I have no idea what it wants us to do
It's
now.
either gonna be the stab wound or his neck, honestly.
Whose neck? I vote for his neck.
No.
Where in this
Fine, do
photograph
stab
does
wound.
he
Do
do
stab
this?
wound.
Oh, hold on.
Stab wound. Stab wound. Get the roar. There, right there. Oh, come on.
Take that!
Look closely at the bloodstain on the victim's chest. Clearly extends in a downwards direction towards the man's feet.
I didn't even.
Why is that significant, Council? Oh.
And why is that significant, Council? If the victim was stabbed moments before the kinesis machine was set in motion, that's entirely expected. Ah! Of course, no, that's not what happened.
Exactly, my lord. Dr. Scythe made it very clear in a testimony just now that the point at which she stole Professor Harebraine's screwdriver and stabbed the victim was after the Grand Deception was set in motion when the birdcage had fallen below the stage out of sight. From the shape of it, it's clear that the birdcage would have fallen on its side after the 30-foot drop, and if the victim had really been stabbed whilst inside the birdcage in that position. The blood from the wound would have spread out equally in all directions. For it to have formed the longitudinal appearance we see in this picture, it's inconceivable.
Ah!
Given that the victim's blood seeped vertically downwards from the wound, it must be the case that when you stabbed Mr. Assman, he was standing up. Short, Dr. Scythe. Your latest testimony was the total fabrication.
Ah! Ah! I don't know how do I do it? Ah!
I knew it, I was right. Now I've identified the contradiction, there's only one way to explain the facts. We've all been under great misapprehension here.
What? What sort of misapprehension?
We thought there was people in the background, but turns out there's just these monkeys going, ah! Dr. Scythe. You claim you were coerced into helping Mr. Drebber as a result of the note he left in the waxwork. You claim that you made changes to the scene of the crime to implicate the defendant. And you claim that you authored a fake autopsy report to cover your tracks. But it was all real, you actually did your job. But one of those claims is an out-and-out lie. Because the question of what the bloodstains really tells us has only one possible answer.
If that is the case, what is it, man?
Counsel, you've clearly struck upon a revelation. Now tell the court what it is.
I have no idea where this line of thought is going.
It is what it is. Say,
Stabbing.
It's,
what
I think
the
how she was
falabash?
coerced. I think she just stabbed him while he was alive. She just killed him.
Well, yeah,
Right.
I think that's it. How she was coerced. Oh, she probably coerced him.
Dr. Scythe, you weren't coerced by some letter at all.
What?
If you were, where is the note? It's nowhere to be seen.
That's maybe.
So why don't you present it to the court? If the assertion vexes you.
Obviously, I've already disposed of it. I'm not vexed in the slightest.
Counsel, need I remind you that it was you yourself who established the coercion?
Ah! Oh, well, that wasn't it.
Well, fetch.
Good thing I saved. Okay, alright, so
It
that's...
was a stabbing.
It was the stabbing?
It was a stabbing.
Yeah, I'll top part of the show the alive.
Stabbing.
No,
Okay.
she didn't lie about the stabbing. She really stabbed him.
No, I know, but the how she stabbed
Okay,
him.
okay, okay.
The answer is very simple if you
Obvious.
consider the sequence of events. If when the victim was stabbed, the blood from the wound seeped downwards as it did, you can be sure that the victim must have been either sitting or standing upright at the time.
But as you rightly pointed out, the birdcage would have fallen on its side when it fell beneath the stage.
Yes, it would, which tells us that the victim must have been in position of his own accord.
Objection!
That's impossible! The man was dead, remember?
No, that is the misapprehension. Well, I wasn't wrong, she just straight murdered him. When the birdcage fell from the stage into the void below, it must have hit the ground with considerable force.
Didn't I pick her as the person who said did the crime? Wait, I think I did.
Wait, look,
Go back
look
and
at him.
No, I picked the
Look,
witch.
look.
I picked
So
the
he was
witch.
alive when he found the thing.
But Mr. Assman didn't die in the fall.
Oh.
Did a broken
Blood.
vertebrae though.
Probably lost consciousness for a while, but when he came round, he got to his feet and to climb out of the cage. Just as Dr. Scythe
Oh.
appeared. I've kind of guessed it. If the victim was in fact live at that point in time, it changes everything. Mr. Odie Assman's killer was the defendant, Professor Albert Hellbrain. Nor was it the mastermind behind the stage trickery, Mr. Enoch Drebber. It was you, Dr. Courtney Scythe.
Order, order,
You already knew what
order!
was coming.
Can this possibly be true?
Have you been taking me for a fool? It was you, was it? You killed him?
You hoped that by admitting to being an accomplice in Mr. Drebber's scheme, the trial would end, for you were accused of a far worse crime, cold-blooded murder.
Oh, do shut up! You're so desperate now, you're making all this up! As if I would do something like that! I assure you the defense is not desperate, Doctor. Mr. Naruhodo has established the facts using evidence and logic alone. Ah! Logic? Don't make me laugh. Sadly, your logic has a gaping hole in it.
What? What do you mean?
I'd have thought it was obvious. A motive, boy. You're lacking a motive. What possible reason would I have to kill Mr. Assman?
Assman was involved in any number of criminal activities from coercion to theft to murder. There's no known connection to Dr. Scythe there.
I'm rather relieved to say it does seem somewhat far-fetched.
True, there's no obvious motive, but there's still something in the back of my mind.
She
I feel
is
sure.
indeed sus.
I've seen something
what she
somewhere
could've-
that hints at why the coroner might have done this.
You know what she could have done? She could have said, well, duh, like, after I stabbed him,
I immediately stood him up, and we were dragging the thing. That's when he put down like, duh.
Okay, well.
Yeah,
And
I-
they could have been like,
She's not a
"Oh,
sociopath
shoot."
like someone over here.
Yes, I might have tampered with the crime scene and concocted a fake report. But murdering someone for no reason is a very different story.
But at the same time, then she instantly put him up as like he was being stabbed. Because the whole point is, the moment she stabbed, the blood starts seeping out, right?
Right, but I mean, if you set someone up right after they're stabbed, it's still.
I mean,
bleeding
yeah,
down.
yeah. If she sat him up for some reason, yeah.
Objection.
No, when you question what possible reason you could have for wanting to kill Mr. Assman, something did come to mind.
What?
What was it, Counsel? Enlighten the court at once!
Yes, we saw it yesterday, didn't we? Something that seemed strange, but we had no reason to suspect it at the time. There's a particular object that explains why Dr. Science would have wanted to kill Mr. Assman.
Save.
Yep.
The
Okay.
screwdriver.
Definitely not the. I don't think it's a screwdriver. The iron mask or the scalpels? The scalpels? What scalpels? What scalpels are we even talking about?
We don't even have scalpels.
I'd say the Iron Mask.
That's what they wanted to. What does that have to do with Mr. Assman?
Okay, do scalpels.
Wait. But the iron mask. I don't know.
Click the Iron Man.
Iron mask?
Yeah.
I'm betting scalpels, but
Okay, click scalpels.
But what is it? Why is it even scalpel?
What does that?
Well, you could have already clicked one and then reloaded the game and clicked the other one.
But I want to get it right. I'm not
Kill
trying
him.
to reload the game.
Scalpel, or rather scalpels.
Did you say scalpels? This doesn't feel right.
It would appear that the word has struck a chord, Doctor.
Come on, out with it.
It was yesterday when we visited your laboratory. I figured it had something to do with something here. Look at this big, thick book here.
What
Oh,
if this is
yeah.
wrong? What if this is
Remember,
wrong? It like
there
goes
was-
out of its way to do all
No,
this
it's
crap,
right.
and then it's
Remember
wrong.
when they say there's so many scalpels that are being
Yeah,
used
yeah,
all the
yeah.
time? Appears to be an accounting ledger. It's a record of the forensic spending, I think.
What is it?
It's clear that the team purchased various equipment and supplies on a monthly basis, but the one entry seems rather strange.
Really? In what way?
Buying 500 scalpels every month.
This would probably be a lot easier if we did this case weeks after weeks.
You're right, you're
Yeah.
right.
And I don't know, it seemed like more blind guessing than logic in your case. No. This is how Ace Attorney is supposed to be. You always reach.
500 scalpels a month? What, 9,000?
I wonder what on earth you could be using that many scalpels for. But actually, I realize now, it's not the scalpels themselves that are significant. It's the money for them disappearing every month from the department's accounts.
Assman's criminal organization relied heavily on extortion for its funding.
It's not actually scalpels.
Tracing the money from the forensic investigation team's account to find out where it was going
Laundering money.
would be extremely straightforward.
10 years ago, when Mr. Assman was still a journalist and wrote this article about Mr. Drebber, he may well have stumbled upon information as he was researching the story. Information relating to Dr. Scythe's darkest secret that he would use to rack money from her for the next decade.
A darkest secret? Goodness gracious, you mean?
I don't know what happened on the night of that execution 10 years ago, but clearly the opportunity to rid yourself of that menace was too tempting to pass up. I feel like it'd be a lot easier to change a few entries to add up to the price of 500 scalpels, then they put 500 scalpels in the ledger.
I agree.
No.
Rookie mistake,
They're
yep.
just too lazy.
Yeah.
In the end, you weren't coerced at all, were you? No, they started off that way. You know, they're like, oh, one more scalpel, one more anesthesia, one more needle. But then towards the end, they're like, I don't want checking these anyway. So in the end, you weren't coerced at all, were you? You did it entirely of your own free will. You stabbed Mr. Assman in the heart with all your might. To silence the blackmailer who knew your dark secret forever.
You'll never understand. None of you. What we've had to keep covered up all these long years.
Alright, right to jail.
Gryffindor!
I don't know. You're looking.
Crying?
Now he's gonna talk and fess up.
As very little of the machine remains after it was ripped apart by the bomb, the truth of this case can never be properly established unless you out.
And if you decide not to, it's very possible that Courtney Scythe will escape punishment for her crimes. Please, sir, own up to what you've done. Tell the court the truth about what happened.
10 years ago, you told the truth. You were robbed of a bright and successful future as a result. I can certainly understand your bitterness and your consternation now. However, surely the chance you've been waiting for, to sever the hold that fate's had over you all these years.
Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis? I mean, really. It's that addle-brained mock scientists that are the worst, you know. They don't recognize the fact that they don't have talent. They can't even get that right.
That right.
That right. And so, they end up chasing dreams, having unbridled faith in their capabilities. They go on and on about their wonderful hypothesis, their stupid eyes shining like a little child. They make me sick! I can't abide their foolishness.
Careful, Mr. Trevor! Don't want you swearing. This is a PG game.
I was particularly pleased with it.
Actually, it's
made
M.
for quite a
No,
show,
only the
didn't
one.
it?
PG-13 though.
Peggy,
I think.
18. Peggy, 16.
So you admit it. You admit that it was nothing more than a sham made for the purpose of killing the victim.
In Minecraft.
Yes, I admit it.
Do you know that joke?
Yeah. No, you'll still get arrested for that though.
Really?
Yeah, that was the, like that's the whole joke.
I thought it wasn't. I thought the whole point is you say in Minecraft because it...
No, the police. That's the whole point. Like the police followed up on some guy that said that to him, and then that guy got arrested.
Oh, fetch! I didn't know that.
Some guy
People
said,
would say horrible things like, "Oh, he's so stupid. I want to freaking kill him." And then they go, "In Minecraft."
well, like it's not
Like, I
actually
hate this person so
threatening.
much. I hope they get like raped and killed and whatever. In Minecraft, it's like, I hope that happens to them in Minecraft, not in real life, so that they can't
So they're-
get mad at me.
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
yeah.
In Minecraft, but I said in Minecraft.
I did it all in the name of revenge.
Revenge for the future that Mr. Assman's article had deprived you of 10 years earlier. But the revenge you sought didn't stop at Assman, did it?
Which is where that very particular waxwork comes in. Yes, I see.
Bend convict that you saw rising from the grave in Lowgate Cemetery. Your account of those events was all true.
Then obviously Scotland Yard couldn't afford to acknowledge what had happened. Even if it meant discrediting a bright young man and crushing any future career he might have had.
So your plan required that you abduct that particular waxwork model in order to exact your revenge on Scotland Yard as well. Or on Dr. Scythe, to be precise.
It was a year ago. By some extraordinary twist of fate, Asman turned up at my workshop. He didn't remember who I was, of course. He just wanted to enjoy my services.
And he happens to have a paper with him. An article on the front. Why? About the coroner. Handled that bogus autopsy. Being a head of a new. When I learned that news, my cognitive processes started to devise the plan. What a horrid tale. He robbed me of the future, so I wanted to use the man's own wiles against him. Or have that rotten Scotland Yard eating out of my hands. I wanted them all to suffer the same humiliation I'd had to suffer.
Please just cut to us random dream. Dang it. So good. Like just a little girl or whatever.
A serious moment, come on.
Gnawing on her cord.
Your actions against those who ruined your future were justified as revenge, at least to yourself. Certainly, no one has the right to destroy another's prospects, especially for purely selfish gain. And yet, in carrying out your plan, you did exactly that to someone else, didn't you?
Did I?
Professor Harebrain's only crime was passion for his hypothesis, but you had no compunction about sacrificing his future to effect your revenge. You knew that he would be forever branded a failure and a fraud.
And he is.
Yeah. Perhaps life treated you unfairly 10 years ago, and others' misconduct left your life in tatters. But remember this. Your own actions resulted in the exact same thing for another perfectly innocent young man.
I.
But there's no explanation of how this guy just lost his arm and eye, eh?
Yes,
I
no.
guess he's just always been like that.
Lord Van Seeks, what of Dr. Scythe?
An immediate warrant for her arrest has been granted and she's being remanded in custody, my lord. I presume she will face trial in the coming days along with Mr. Drebber.
A most regrettable situation indeed. She's made great contributions to her profession over the years. It really is a hard truth to swallow. However, that is a topic for some future occasion. For now, Professor Harebrain, you're free to go.
Yes.
It seems there was a great deal more to your experiment than you realized. However, I think we can assume now that all the sordid details have been brought to light. This has been a very long and profound trial, but I'm pleased to say you are absolved of all guilt.
This whole experience has taught me a very great but painful lesson. I mean me, this dedicated scientist, this devotee of natural philosophy. I've been selfish and self-centered, and above all, a fool.
Professor.
Not wrong.
I've spent my life thinking of nothing but my research, misguidedly believing that I could do whatever I set my mind to, despite my lack of talent. And the worst of it is, in the process I've caused others pain and misery, others who are far, far greater people than I.
No, Professor, that's not true.
What?
Don't tar yourself with the same brush as Drebber. What happened was his doing and his alone. This outcome is his fate, not yours. You're not to blame in any way.
Lord Van Zeeks.
In the derision with which he referred to you earlier, calling you a fool, talentless even. The man has no idea just how to believe in yourself and work your fingers to the bone to realize your dreams. That's laudable, not laughable. Whoa, what the heck? Maybe he's gay, maybe he loves him.
Oh my god.
No one has the right to deride another for such choices.
I love you, Harebrain.
Van Zeeks, thank you, Baroque.
So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury,
Yes, my lord.
it is this court's expectation that you find the defendant not guilty of the charge which he stands accused. I presume there are no objections.
None from me, my lord.
Certainly not.
This trial really made me think, but this is the right decision.
It's all been proven methodically and rigorously. I have no misgivings whatsoever.
What's that? He's done, is he? It's all over.
I don't know what's become of the yard these days. I don't recognize the place. Yes, I chose Ace Attorney over Hot Yoga. Yep.
What? Oh, were you gonna go to hot yoga?
Nope.
Oh, hot yoga's cool, dude.
Very well.
I hated hot yoga. We went one time and I was like literally
It was
gonna
so
pass out
nice.
and
It was
die.
dope.
The first 20 minutes sucks.
What
Then
the
after
heck?
that,
No,
it's
it
good.
doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
No, it's dope.
Because it's so hot. Like when you walk in there and it's just so hot, like you don't have like before your body starts to sweat, you feel like you're gonna die. And then once you start to sweat, then you're
First
fine.
20 was the hump for sure. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not my experience.
In that case, I hereby pronounce the defendant not guilty.
Fireworks in the courtroom. My goodness, 3-hour Ace Attorney episode. What?
Yeah, and this is even the final case.
What a day.
Imagine what the last case,
I don't want to think
the
about
last
it. I don't wanna
section
think
is
about
gonna be like.
Court is adjourned. Please be done.
be continued.
At least as a substitution of a hot tub.
It's over. That was some trial.
I know it was. Please, be continued.
No, of course not. We have to wrap up. You
Oh
kidding me?
no.
We gotta talk to Harlock Sholmes.
It's 10:20. Help me.
Professor, what a splendid outcome, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It is. Congratulations, Professor.
Stop on both
Harebrained.
cliffhangers, lose track of what's going on, and miss more details as a result. You're right.
Mr. Naruhodo, Mr. Sato, I am truly beside myself with gratitude. How can I ever thank you enough?
I'm just glad it's all been cleared up. That you realize you were just caught up in a bad situation.
Right now, if I had that research grant money, I'd give the whole lot to you, every penny.
Well, that's very kind, but I'm just a student, so...
You don't need any financial reward. Your acquittal is more than enough.
Wait, I just did this for free?
I know. I was about to say I want a
Now,
financial
hold on,
reward.
what?
Hold up.
Oh dear, what can I do? How about this? As a memento,
Science.
the paper about my hypothesis is inside.
Science.
Looks like a kid's coloring book.
I know, literally.
Well, just as a memento then, thank you. This didn't set anyone off when he handed his hypothesis to someone.
I know.
It's just a picture of some drawing of some
I know.
teleportation. It's like a children's drawing.
I've been wondering, Professor, what are you going to do now?
Oh my, yes, what am I going to do? My hypothesis is my great machine line in ruins. But still, it's been too long since I was last in London, so perhaps I'll enjoy some sightseeing. I must explore the great exhibition whilst I'm here too, and see if a new inspiration hits me.
Oh, yes, that's a wonderful.
I can't allow that. Oh, I was right.
Yeah, I mean, who else would it be? Lord Van Zeeks, what are you doing in here? This is my room.
I was cool seeing him straight on.
Bayrock!
I'm sorry you had to go through that, Albert.
Well, if I'm honest, it was terrifying. You were like a great demon behind your bench there, snarling down on your prey.
You're one of the few true friends I have. I couldn't leave it to anybody else to handle the prosecution or the defense.
Sorry? Or the defense? Did I just hear that right? Was he not racist?
I always knew that you had my best interests at heart, don't worry. How about you show me around while I'm here in town? It's been a long time since we left university, we have a lot to catch up on.
I'm telling you, this is the ship. Ship it.
Oh my.
Listen, Albert. In a few days, your acquittal will be made official. When that happens, you must head straight to Dover. I'll accompany you. Ship
We can grab
sailing.
dinner on the way.
What? What?
From there, you'll cross the channel and make your way back to Germany. I've already purchased the tickets.
It's the honeymoon.
Oh,
Oh
my gosh.
But no, hold on a minute, Bearhawk. What about the great exhibition?
It's Barack.
This is the chance of the lifetime for me.
Oh, Barack?
Yeah.
No sightseeing, Albert.
Honeymoon.
Give up on the idea. The only sight you'll be seeing.
Oh
is-
my. Is my ass man.
Sometimes.
This game is
That
so
was
spicy.
good. That was good. Give me bones, man. That was good. Sometimes it's hard to see any warmth in those eyes, Bearhawk.
Lord Van Zeeks. What's all this about?
A necessary precaution.
Oh yeah, because don't they always die?
Wasn't expecting
Yes,
yaoi.
I think I understand.
What does
You
that
do.
mean, yaoi? Does that mean gay?
Yep.
Is that gay hentai?
I mean, it's gay.
Oh, gay.
I think. It's like boys love.
Well, Iris told me that when you met Lord Van Zee at his office some days ago, he asked how Mr. Natsume was doing.
That's right. I remember being surprised at the time and thinking it was nice of him to ask.
Point is, Mr. Natsume is still alive and well, even though it's been more than 6 months now since he stood trial with the Reaper as a prosecutor.
Ah, you mean the Reaper's influence doesn't stretch overseas? Wow, what a easy loophole.
Those in the Reaper's sights meet their end days, sometimes months after their acquittal.
You're really talking in third person?
That's been the pattern up to now.
What? You need third person.
Those in the Reaper's
He
sights.
doesn't think he's the Reaper. So it's not the third person. No, he's
But they
like,
call him
if you don't leave
Reaper.
London right now, I'm going to kill you, Herr Albert Harebrained.
Jeez.
But of course, we know that both Mr. Natsume and Gino were completely innocent.
True. And perhaps that governs the Reaper's actions. The truly innocent are spared.
Ah, he doesn't believe Albert's innocent.
But I don't want to take any chances with a close personal friend and lover.
But Barack, I thought we were more than
Barack!
friends.
Is his name really Barack? There's no way. It's
It's
Barrack.
Barack. It's
It's
not
Barrack.
Barrack.
Why would it be? Why was it?
It's
Is it Barack?
Barack.
Why?
Like Barack Obama.
But what
But
about
Barack
like,
Obama
Barron?
spelled B-A-R-R-A-C-K.
That is true.
Yeah, but what about like Baron? That's
That's
why I thought it was
true.
Barack.
Barrock.
Look it
Then
up.
it'd
look
be
it up.
Barrack.
I don't know.
Like the most,
It's not
like the
Barack.
mustached Nipponese, this man should leave the country without delay. That's why I'm packing him off to Germany at once.
Right. Does your friend-shaped package get any say in it?
Friend-shaped package? Goodness! Is this your intention all along then, Lord Van Zee?
In court, where people think of him as the Reaper, this man seems absolutely merciless, and yet, sometimes I feel as though I don't understand them at all.
Time to go, Albert. Back to the prison for
Wait,
the
what?
time
Why?
being.
Yes, all right. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you so much for everything.
Not at all, Professor. It was a pleasure getting to know you. Why is he going back to jail? They just finish questioning, I guess?
Jail.
I guess I gotta like finish.
He's not relieved yet of his.
Best wishes, Professor Hairbrain.
Well, once the dust is settled, you must come and visit me in Germany. Anyway, goodbye for now.
It would've been funny if you gave him a jerk. Must
didn't know
come
how to do
visit
German
me in
accent.
Germany.
Oh. Now, my Nipponese friend.
Oh, yes, I thought you'd gone too.
We have matters to discuss. Can you spare me some time?
You want to talk with me?
I'll be waiting in the courtroom in 10 minutes.
Why in the courtroom?
This is exciting.
Because I want to court you.
Dating simulator at
Wow.
the very end. That'd be sick.
Well, that was strange. For some reason, I didn't
That'd be
get the sense
so
of
cool.
impeding doom as he walked away this time.
You walk in, he's like shirtless.
We start playing like a little gym game or whatever.
The enigma, Barak Van Zeeks. What does he want to discuss, I wonder? The answer awaits in the courtroom, I suppose. Here goes then.
Well, we can stop there.
Nope, not until it's a save.
I don't know.
Here we go, it keeps going.
Oh.
Oh, Judith.
Okay,
Wax
but
was still
actually
there.
though, this might go on for a long.
No way.
So, are you satisfied you saved a guileless scientist from a great injustice?
Yes, I think so. I'm relieved at least that the man's innocence could be proven.
Proven. Anyway, I imagine you've been wondering where my animosity towards you Nipponese comes from.
Now, time for some backstory.
This isn't gonna be a short
3-hour
I'm just saying,
backstory.
I'm just-
Well, at first I thought you just didn't like me. I imagine you saw me as a pretentious child from an unimportant land who had no business being here. But now I think differently. You're just racist. Clearly know our ways, so I would guess that some specific incident led to your thorough dislike of my race. Will you tell me what happened, please?
The professor.
You're Asian.
I thought I'd never hear that name in this courtroom again, to be honest.
He took your brother's life.
Clint. My brother was Clint Van Zeeks. 16 years ago, when I was still just in my teens.
He's like in his 30s?
He was already the director of prosecutions and a key member of the judiciary. I looked up to him. He was everything I aspired to be. He was involved in the establishment of justice systems in foreign countries as well. There were exchange programs between Britain and other nations then too, to share knowledge and ideas. As part of one of those programs, 3 judicial students came to Britain from your homeland, the Empire of Japanian.
Oh,
Japanian.
if it was 16 years ago, then one of them
Japan.
could have been my father.
Of course, I remember Dr. Mikotoba well.
I had no idea.
I was a minor at the time, training at the prosecutor's office. One day, Clint introduced me to the 3 visiting Nipponese.
So you've actually met my father.
He and his colleagues were polite and amicable. They were adept at their work and exacting in their standards. It was my first encounter with the Nipponese spirit, and it made a very great impression upon me. But 6 years later, that's when it happened. The investigation was going nowhere. There were no suspects even, just an ever-growing list of victims. In the end, my brother became one of them. The last, in fact, before the case was finally resolved.
I'm so sorry, Lord Van Zeeks. Truly.
Clint was always ready to put his life on the line for justice anyway, so he wouldn't have wanted it any other way. He lost his life to the killer, but it was his victory in the end. For me personally, though, it was a great loss. I found myself in a very dark place indeed.
Never left that place, have you?
When I finally found out the killer's identity, the reason why no one had been able to catch the man sooner ceased to be such a mystery. He'd been hiding in plain sight all the time.
In plain sight.
Are you aware of political events 10 years ago? It was a period of extremely sensitive diplomacy between the British and Japanese empires.
A new treaty was being forged, I think.
Correct. The Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation was being concluded. The leaders of both countries were deep in extensive political discussions, which is why the particular killer's appearance in court was conducted as a closed trial. If the British public had known the identity of the killer, not only would the treaty have been in jeopardy, but our two nations could very well have ended up at war.
Oh, he was Asian.
Wow.
What? A war between Britain and Japan?
But that would mean... You mean to say the professor was...
Japanese. It was Kazuma.
Oh.
When the trial reached its conclusion earlier, I thought to myself, yes, it's time. Time for you to come face to face with this hideous monster. I borrowed the key for the mask from the proprietress of the Waxwork Museum, so see for yourselves now. Confirm it with your own eyes. The truth that's been hidden this past decade.
What is his name? The guy who always freaks out and is shaking all the time.
That's the professor?
Yes, it's him.
What's it? Oh, yeah. Natsume?
Until now, the thought never even crossed my mind that the mass murderer, whose crimes shook Britain as never before,
Who are you?
It's Mikoto, that's her revenge.
Oh, is it?
was Japanese.
Oh. It?
Wait a minute. I feel as though I've seen it somewhere. It's strangely familiar.
It's his dad. I clearly should have pressed A accidentally.
That was a great moment.
Oh, shoot.
Fetch!
Wait, is it him? Is it the...
Father. What? Father?
No way!
Kazuma! My best friend, Kazuma Asogi. After a whole year, finally his memories return.
Jill? They're cutting him off?
I know. What's up?
As he stood there before me,
Hedge.
So weird without his headband.
Ryunosuke.
Father right Whoa.
Hello again,
now. Oh my, that'd be rude.
my friend.
Love him.
Kazuma-sama!
Judicial Assistant Mikotoba. It's been a very long road. Thank you. Thank you for guiding my friend here when I could not.
It was an honor.
I knew you wouldn't die that easily.
I hope so. Cat? Death by cat?
I owe you thanks, too, for taking good care of that in my absence. Oh,
I thought he was like...
Karuma, the great blade of the Asogi clan, passed down through the generations. When we left Japan, this sword was at my friend's side. A Japanese man's katana is his soul, and he couldn't be parted from it. But then, when the incident happened, it was Susato-san's wish that I inherit the sword, and I've kept it with me ever since, along with my memories of the friendship we shared. With this by my side, I always felt that you were watching over me somehow. I've made it. At last. Father. Are you saying... Surely not. You mean... You knew all this time? I'm looking at it. But... I still can't believe it. This mass murderer is Kazuma's father.
You have to prove his in. Because he got shot by someone.
Well, rip all that person, all of Madame Two Spell's hard work.
Kazuma-sama.
Ryunosuke, we have much to talk about, but now is not the time. I'll be seeing you.
Bitch.
That's all Kazuma said. Before he turned and left us there, in the courtroom.
So he's a living afterimage of the man who took my brother's life, is he?
Yes, Kazuma Asogi, my best friend.
3 months ago when Lord Strongheart introduced us, I had an inkling there was something there. Some connection.
But why did Lord Strongheart do that? Why did he make Kazuma Lord Van Zeek's apprentice when he was suffering amnesia?
The man was apprehended, even executed. But his legacy just won't die. That's the sad truth. Anyway, that's all I had to say. I thank you for meeting with me as I asked.
Oh, like that he vanished into the night.
I guess I should say 3. Wow, the 2 Japanese characters surprised in the accents.
And my grandmother took me to the railway station, there to meet my father from the train. It was ever
Poor Susato-san, all this is tied up with painful memories for him. Never talked about this with me before, though.
It took time to adjust to having father now. Just when I started to get used to it, he called me into a study one night. He told me that a great friend of his had passed away in London. The friend had left behind a son, a boy 7 years old. Father told me the boy had made a promise to his late father, studying to be a defense lawyer. I wanted to help, so I studied to become a qualified judicial. As I'm sure you know, that young man's name, Kazuma.
Actually, I think we are gonna have to defend his dad.
I think so.
Yeah.
No, I think, and that's the whole point of Kazuma, why he became a lawyer, to defend his dad.
That's how he and I met.
For a brief moment, my great friend had returned, only to disappear again all too soon. But in that fleeting encounter, something stirred. Something that had been dormant for a long time. As if great wheels had been set in motion. I could almost hear them creaking into life. In some ways, it was the end of a chapter, but in many, it was the start of a new one.
Alright. I think we're finally ready to call it. Thank you all for sitting around. End the game forever. Yeah, we're done. What? Of course not. What? Alright.
Oh, Thomas, why is it 3 hours?
Alright, thank you all
Remember
for
when
watching.
we were gonna end it at 8, like, joke? I thought we were actually gonna end it.
Alright, thank you all for watching. Hopefully, we'll catch you all in the next stream. It seems like it's pretty late, so we'll let these two go. Hopefully, everyone has a good night. And we'll see you in the next stream. Until next time.
Wait, aren't you like?
Yeah, we're not. I'll be gone for 2 weeks in Japan. Have fun not having content, guys.